We welcome you to the 62nd annual Toyota Gator Bowl from Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville. Third meeting ever between West Virginia out of the Big East and Georgia Tech from the Atlantic Coast Conference. Cloudy skies overhead, but we anticipate a heck of a ball game, and Happy New Year from all of us, everybody. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson. West Virginia comes in with the second best running back, running a tandem in all of college football, but a big question mark. Steve Slayton, injured thigh bruise. Can he go? Well, for more on that, let's go down to Tracy Wolfson.
That's right, Vern. Steve Slayton has been dealing with a deep thigh bruise that he sustained earlier in the season and re-injured again last week in practice. This week, he spent more time in the training room than he did on the football field. He will play, but the key will be how he stays loose during the 45 minutes in the locker room before kickoff. I had a chance to speak with head trainer Dave Kearns, and I asked him how effective he thought Steve Slayton would be, and he said, I'd be surprised if he made it through the whole game. Guys?
All right, Trace and Gary, how does that affect?
Oh, that's a huge story. I mean, this spread offense, it is dynamic, but West Virginia likes to run the ball. And to run the ball from the spread, you have to have both your backs. In this instance, your quarterback and your running back must be a weapon. Slayton being nicked will hurt Patrick White. Now, Patrick White is a wonderful athlete. He's not known as a passer, but if Georgia Tech and John Tenuta, their defensive coordinator, can zero in on just one guy, I don't think Patrick White has the experience throwing the ball to really attack Georgia Tech. It's a huge story. I watched Slayton closely in warm-ups. He seemed okay, but the thing is, can he go the whole game?
He is joining his team as they take the field. The Mountaineers from Morgantown. Head coach Rich Rodriguez. They come in with a 10-2 record. Losses to Louisville and South Florida. And here comes Georgia Tech. Now let's talk about this Georgia Tech team. Of course, the big story there, Reggie Ball's academic suspension.
Yeah. Well, that's a tough one. I mean, I really hate to see this. The guy started 49 games, struggled a little bit, obviously, the last couple games, but he's also beaten Florida State, Miami. He's done a lot of good things in his career, and you can't really replace that experience at quarterback. Now, Taylor Bennett is going to play quarterback for Georgia Tech. He doesn't have a lot of snaps, not a lot of experience. He's been in the system, though, for 3 springs and 3 full camps, so he should know what he's doing. He has a safety net, though, and it's a good safety net to have, because if he's going to throw it up, he's got the best football player in college football in my mind, maybe for the last 3 years, Calvin Johnson. Goes about 6'6". He races a lot of bad throws with his reach and his jumping ability, and believe me, Georgia Tech must have that weapon to score enough points against these guys.
You know, I find it interesting on the left, Rich Rodriguez, and on the right, Chan Gailey.
Yeah.
They are separated by only 9 years, but philosophically a greater contrast.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that meeting them. You know, it is kind of old school, new school, and I'm not really judging here. I mean, there's the I formation, play action pass, throw the comeback and square in that Chan Gailey does at Georgia Tech works, and Rich Rodriguez has done it a different way, but there will be a contrast in this game.
Rich Rodriguez, the head coach, moments ago addressed his Mountaineers.
Man, listen, it's a great atmosphere. Have some fun. How many people want to be in your shoes right now? We got a bunch of guys going to be flying around, chest pumping, getting after, having fun playing West Virginia football. And you seniors, you 25 seniors, this is your last dance. Let's dance as hard as we can. And we'll show the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets when you play the Mountaineers, you lace your shoes up a little harder, a little more baseball, a little more in your hand, and merge you one. Let's go, baby.
CBS Sports presentation of the Toyota Gator Bowl is sponsored by Toyota, moving forward. The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help. And by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. These two teams meet for the third time ever, the 62nd annual Toyota Gator Bowl. And this game brought to you in high-definition television on CBS. 71 degrees, winds out of the southwest at 10 to 15. Last night, as New Year's dawned, they said 80% chance of rain, a little better forecast than that. Georgia Tech leads the all-time series. They played in the Sugar Bowl and the Car Quest Bowl.
Was that Joe Hamilton, Mark Bolger?
Yes, it was.
Wow, that was a good football game.
Ooh, very good memory.
Wow.
Very good. You got the notes on 54?
No. That's your
I do. Here's the kick. West Virginia won the toss. They deferred, and Pat McAfee puts it through the end zone. So a touchback, and Georgia Tech's Taylor Bennett will take the field for the second start of his career. The lineup's presented by Applebee's. The sophomore Bennett out of St. Louis started last year against UConn through his first pass of his career for a touchdown. Up front, Gardner, Rhodes, Tuminello, McManus, and Rotto. Calvin Johnson, the all-everything. Tashard Choice is the running back. The fullback, Mike Cox. Matthews and Johnson. James Johnson is the other wide receiver. Split to the left. And they'll hand it off to Tashard Choice up the middle. And a big gain for Georgia Tech on first down and 10.
You know, it's interesting. Sometimes when you have these long layoffs, you just get sick of hearing about the other guys and how good they run the ball. And Georgia Tech has heard about this great West Virginia running attack. And Tashard Choice says, you know, I led the ACC in rushing. We got a pretty good conference, and our guys can block too. And that was a nice opening play. 18 yards. He's going after his 7th consecutive 100-yard game and is averaging over 100 for the season. First down and 10. It'll be Choice going left. And he moves it out near the 45-yard line. Nice pickup on first down again. Defensively for West Virginia. And let's check up front. It's Young, Pleebig, and Keelan Dykes. The linebackers, Boo McClee, Jay Henry, and Bobby Hathaway. And they'll go with 5 defensive backs: Rivers, Andrews, John Holmes, Eric Wicks, and Antonio Lewis. 2nd and 3. Split backs now. Cox is lined up tight to the right, the fullback. There's Taylor Bennett being chased, caught, and dropped. Keelan Dykes, 3rd sack of the season. And that's exactly what Taylor Bennett told us he didn't want to do. He said, listen, I'm not a runner. I know I'm not a runner. I have to stay in the pocket, and if it's not there, just chuck it out of bounds. So what happens? First pass, not a lot of experience, decent protection. Yeah, his tackle got run over a bit, but if Taylor would have snuck up in the pocket, he could have avoided a loss. And now 3rd and 15 is going to be very difficult against his experienced defense from West Virginia.
Calvin Johnson goes wide to the left. They give him plenty of space. There are 3 wideouts now. Chris Dunlap is the 3rd, along with James Johnson. West Virginia brings 4. They hand it off to Choice. Gets a good block from his fullback, or rather his tight end. But he's only back to the 40-yard line. It will be 4th down. Quentin Andrews, number 8, makes the tackle on Tashard Choice.
When we talked to the Georgia Tech people, said they've never faced a 3-3-5 unit like this defense, the odd stack, and you could see it already. It gave them a couple problems.
Now here is one of the outstanding punters in the country, a finalist for the Ray Guy Award. And Ray Guy, one of his mentors, along with former NFL punter Chris Moore, who played at Auburn, Durant Brooks, and the deep man is Vaughn Rivers. Brooks for the season averaging 45-5.
Wow, beautiful.
Rivers lets it go, and it goes into the end zone, touchback. So a 60-yard punt, net of 40, and the Mountaineers will take the field. We'll have our first look to see how effective the All-American Steve Slayton can be playing with this deep side bruise.
The ring gear on many half-tons out there is this big. The one you want is this big. How you like them apples?
11:55 to go first quarter. Let's check this Mountaineer offense, and it is one of the more effective offenses in the country, fueled by Patrick White, the sophomore quarterback from Daphne, Alabama. He's joined up front by Stanchek, his Danner, the All-American Dan Moses, his buddy Jerome Sheffy, and Raynaud pulled a groin in practice. We'll keep our eye on him. Slayton, Owen Schmidt, and Rashawn Bolden. And Slayton is in the starting backfield. Flanked on either side by Schmidt. And then White in the middle. Give it to the fullback. Pretty good play. Look at this guy rumble. Owen Schmidt. How about that? 52 yards, Gary.
Almost have to chuckle because we meet with John Tenuta, the defensive coordinator from Georgia Tech, and he goes, you know, when they got the two backs in the backfield, they're always going to fake it to the fullback or run the fullback right there. We know what they're going to do, and then they're going to go option or sweep that way. So what do? Exactly what the coach says, and they busted in there for 50 yards. You got to want to pull your hair out if you're a coach sometime.
Previous longest gain this year was 18. That for 52. Owen Schmidt. On first down. Patrick White keeps it, comes left. Oh, we have seen them do this so often this year. First and goal, West Virginia. Patrick White for 27.
I wonder if Georgia Tech saw the Sugar Bowl against Georgia last year. Because this is eerily similar. Now it's just the zone read. If they crash the end in, and you saw the end crash in, Adam Oliver, number 42, Patrick White's, he doesn't have a thigh booze, does he? And he just crashes it in there. 2 plays down to the 1.5 yard line.
He does have a high ankle sprain that caused him to miss the Rutgers game, but that is healed. I don't think it's a problem. Now he's got the 2 fullbacks, Schmidt and Maxwell Anderson in the backfield. It'll be Schmidt who gets the dessert. No signal of a touchdown yet. He did not get the cherry on the top. Down at the 1 foot line. Owen Schmidt.
Well, he's got 2 more scoops to go, though, to find that cherry in this one. Rich Rodriguez, the architect of this spread. The power comes from Owen Schmidt. Well, that was pretty close.
Sure was.
The ball has to break the plane, remember.
Owen Schmidt began his career at Wisconsin River Falls, Division III. Was there 1 year, walked on at West Virginia. Gets the handoff this time. No problemo.
Yeah. He found the cherry under the second scoop of ice cream.
Oh, that was fairly quick.
Sure was. You called that offensive line, you know, you give all that credit to those running backs and quarterback, and obviously they should get it. But that offensive line right there did a job. A fullback plunge and then a power into the end zone. Wow, what a lot of space eaten up in that rushing attack.
Pat McAfee perfect for the year. That's 58 of 58 point after tries. Owen Schmidt picked up 52 on his first carry, picked up a foot on his second. It all adds up to a 7-0 lead. We're back in Jacksonville. It's time for the playbook presented by the Hartford.
Now, all week, Coach has been telling Georgia Tech that they run the veer out of this. Here's Slayton over here. Now, watch. Hey, Michael Hall, the middle linebacker. He's saying, I'm thinking it's outside. It's outside. I'm going to get out all that speed. Overruns the play, and there goes the fullback right up the gut. You think that speed outside? You run the fullback inside, and the playbook sometimes is very simple. Just do what the other team doesn't think you're going to do, and it works.
52-yard effort for Owen Schmidt. Had 2 of the carries. Patrick White wedged in between. Actually, he had 3 of the 4. And Pat McAfee will kick off for the second time. Jamal Evans, number 20, is the deep back for Georgia Tech. This one returnable, and it will be from 2 yards in. Stumbles and falls.
Number 20, Jamal Evans.
Sounded like a mamas and papas tune.
Yeah, that could
Trip,
make it
stumble,
into
and
it.
fall. Yeah.
Tackled by number 15.
How about your keys for the game? What's Gary's guide this
You
week?
got it. I mean, for this game to work well for both teams, there's going to be a few pressure points. And number one is the quarterback. Can Taylor Bennett find some points? Now, remember, the last 2 games against Georgia and Wake Forest, no points for Georgia Tech. West Virginia must be aware of number 21. If they can shut him down, where Georgia Tech get the points. And finally, where are the points going to come from? Because no matter how good you think you can play defense against West Virginia, you got to assume they're going to score 21, 28 points. And Georgia Tech has been scoring a lot less lately.
Yes, they have. Jay Henry made that last stop. It'll be 2nd down and 9. This Georgia Tech team really so close to an outstanding season. They stumbled at the end, of course, losing on the final play against their rival Georgia, and then losing to Wake Forest here 3 weeks ago in the ACC championship game. Here is Tashard Choice, and he's short of the first down. Tackle made by Antonio Lewis. And second series, we've not seen the ball get in the vicinity of Calvin Johnson.
No, they haven't even looked his way. We visited with Calvin, and I've seen him a long time. I was lucky enough to broadcast his game against Clemson when he broke out with those 3 catches that first year. You just got to find a way to throw the ball to him, whether he's covered or not. That's my opinion when you got a guy that open.
3rd and 3. Johnson is left side. Bennett got a man. James Johnson, number 89. The other wide receiver, and a huge play for Georgia Tech.
Well, if you look up and down this season for West Virginia, it has been teams hurting them in the passing game. That's where the yards have come from. Taylor Bennett has to come through. You're not going to beat this team without a quarterback. You can't play 10 on 11. And this is a huge sigh of relief. Good balance, threw the ball in between. Oh, nice slant right in between 2 guys. Bad coverage by West Virginia. They got out of sync, 2 guys in one spot, and a rip throw in there by Bennett.
Positive note for Georgia Tech. James Johnson has been dropping passes the last 2 games. Here's Bennett, play fake. Guess who's down there? Wide open. Touchdown, Georgia Tech, Calvin Johnson.
You got to find a way to throw the ball to him, whether he's covered or not. Throw the ball to him.
That was pretty quick.
That was just as quick. One team, new school, does it with this newfangled spread. Old school, drop back in the pocket and throw the ball.
Calvin Johnson with his 27th career touchdown at Georgia Tech. And the kick by Travis Bell. He's never missed one in his career. A 31-yard TD, the all-everything.
The all-everything, and he's so smooth. He doesn't look like he's running 4.35 40. Watch, just a little hesitation. That's all he knew. Oh, my goodness. When you slip and fall twice on a play, you have no chance. Just a little hesitation, lob it up there, and Taylor Bennett says, all right, I think I can do this.
Playoffs on CBS next weekend. The Jets at New England, Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 o'clock Pacific Time. Jets in New England. It'll all begin with JB and the guys. The NFL Today at noon Sunday on CBS. 7-7, midway through the first quarter. Calvin Johnson. First time they went to him, touchdown catch.
Good ratio so far.
Right. And the kickoff now, taken by Lewis at the 27.
All right, the good news for Georgia Tech is they scored. The bad news is West Virginia gets the ball.
And let's take a look at the Georgia Tech defense. Little scrap going on in the field that doesn't amount to much. Robertson, Richard, Anawai, and Oliver. Paul Wheeler and Gary Guyton, the listed linebackers. Roberson, Jamal Lewis, DJ Jones, and Jahi Ward Daniels in the secondary. And a first down and 10. Patrick White, 27-yard run on the opening TD drive of 80 yards. Handed off inside. Joe Anawai makes the tackle on Steve Slayton, his first carry. You've met Rich Rodriguez, just agreed to remain at West Virginia. Here's Chan Gailey in his 5th year at Georgia Tech. Much traveled as a coach. He got his first head coaching job at Troy State back then in '83. Spent half of his career in the National Football League. Of course, was one time the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Second down and 6. White near side, caught by Brandon Miles, number 7. And Gary, they started out, they had that opening game against Notre Dame and played very well in that one.
As you said, this team was pretty close. I mean, they gave Notre Dame, they were prepared hard for Notre Dame. You know, that Clemson game shocked them. Then they found their way again, and in the end, I mean, to play such good defense and not beat Georgia, not beat Wake Forest, I'm sure they're disappointed. They just have not got the ball into the end zone.
3rd and 2 from the 36. Come left, that's Patrick White, and a fine defensive effort. I see Chan Gailey down there cheering. How about that?
Yeah, I think they're short, don't you?
Yes.
I don't think they made it on this one now. Georgia Tech has already sent in their punt return team. I don't know if West Virginia's going to go for it or not. String it out, turn it back in, and look at the safeties come up and hit. It was Wheeler coming up and hit, and I think it was Avery Roberson coming up. A safety and a linebacker stuffing that play.
4th down. 4th and 1. And Andrew Smith, number 83, will be back to return the punt of Pat McAfee for the season. 44 yards with a long of 75. There's that little running punt. Line drives it, and it takes a divot and comes back. 31-yard punt, but no return. And so McAfee with that rugby punt going to his right. And Georgia Tech will get the ball for the second time. We are tied 7-7 at the Toyota Gator Bowl. Part of the week we always look forward to. It's the Home Depot Tools for Success. Dig into the...
You know one of my favorite tools at Home Depot, there's James Johnson. It's like that shop vac. You know, you turn it on, James Johnson, he picks up water, and Calvin Johnson, then you flick it the other way, and Calvin Johnson picks up everything else. It can pick up water and everything else. The guy who's running it can just flick it back both ways, but he knows that he's got Johnson, and watch him try his pro move right there. I ain't saying he's going to turn pro, but he knows how to drag both feet. The shop vac.
I like that. That was innovative.
Picks up water and everything else.
Yeah. Every week. Now we got to wait till next September.
I'm not working around the house, though.
You not working. You should see me not working. First down and 10. 7-7 game. Here's Bennett. Draw play. Tashard Choice got a big run. He's not fast.
No.
He's not fast at all, but steady.
Well, just to underline what Vern has been saying right here, this is the power. You know, they're going to run the ball, watch the offensive lineman will pull, kick out, pull, kick out. Nice kick out right there. Get into the secondary. Choice's long run of the year. As we take a look at the downfield blocking, boy, that's not a prima donna there, is he? Not taking any plays off for number 21. Choice doesn't get a lot of game breakers, but we'll look at it all game. He gets a lot of those 8-10-yard runs.
How about that? Georgia Tech with the equal average. Not on this down, however. Tackles made by Keelan Dykes, number 96.
Just to follow up on Choice, his long carry of the year is 46 yards. Slayton alone has 10 runs longer himself all year on the team. That's one guy, but he has led the ACC in rushing. By the way, finished second team All-ACC as he led the conference in rushing.
Choice played his first season at the University of Oklahoma, and his mother fell ill, couldn't make the game, so he received a waiver from the NCAA to transfer back to Georgia Tech and did not have to sit out the year. Here's Choice. played behind Adrian Peterson in his first year there.
No shame there, is it?
Not at all.
Lining up behind Adrian Peterson.
Deshard Choice, he is, to use a choice word, loquacious.
Yeah, he was. He was fun to meet, wasn't he?
He will converse.
He's a little bit of the ultra ego of this team. You know, you got Kelvin Johnson, the star player, doesn't say much. So you got a running back who does all the talking. It works.
4:20 to go, opening quarter in the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville.
This is where Kelvin Johnson's been lining up most of the game.
Well, they flip it out in the flap, and it's caught by Rashawn Grant, number 3. And let's have some more on Deshard Choice. Here's Tracy.
That's right, guys. Before the season, Choice sat down with his positions coach and named the running backs he considered the best in college football. He mentioned Marshawn Lynch, his old teammate Adrian Peterson, and West Virginia's Steve Slayton. Then running backs coach Curtis Mockins pointed one name out that was missing, and that was his. He said it was a way for him to tell Choice that he thinks he's one of those guys. He says it's important for him to see something like that, and it gives him something to work on. Guys, this is a chance for him to show he deserves to be on that list.
And Georgia Tech will go for it, Tracy, on 4th and inches in a tie game in the first quarter. It's Choice, and he's got the first down plus. Tackle made by Boo McClee, number 43 for West Virginia.
So many, it's vogue to talk about this zone blocking schemes that everybody's using. But you know what? Georgia Tech, old school. They're man blocking. Down, down, kick out, follow behind your big offensive guard, Nate McManus, and that's the way to just kind of slam them down. It's an all-man blocking scheme, old school Georgia Tech.
And a first down. This is the 14th play. You see they've thrown it 3 times. First down and 10 at the 38. Play fake. Bennett, a lot of time. Calvin Johnson has to wait on it. But to him who waits come good things. He was open for the touchdown, and the ball hung.
He's just making defensive backs fall down all over the place. Great patience. Goes out, just takes his time, bends back. Defender falls down. We're not sure who it is, but here it is. Watch him. He comes out, then the little wrinkle, and then across. Just a little wrinkle, and watch the defensive back fall down. Right here, watch. Comes out, fall down. Oh, there he goes, falling down, wide open. That's a safe throw when you got a guy that wide open. Don't overthrow him. It was a little behind, but you'll take it as a quarterback.
Taylor Bennett, a perfect 4 of 4. They'll give him a choice. Right tackle, touchdown. Georgia Tech has taken the lead.
What did we say? You have to establish Kelvin Johnson, and you old school better find a way to run it. That's exactly what Georgia Tech is doing.
And Choice going after his 7th consecutive 100-yard game. Already has 65.
That's been impressive. Right now, Georgia Tech is wishing those grades would have come out a little earlier. Hate to say it, Reg.
Yes. Reggie Ball, one of 3 players suspended by Georgia Tech. Kenny Scott, their outstanding cover corner, and Xavier McGuire, the other. Deshard Choice.
You know,
I just love the reaction.
When you got a weapon, you have to be patient, but use it. You don't have to use it every play. And then if you are a weapon, be patient how you run your routes. And that was a great route. 6'6", 4'5", 40, and you're patient running your routes. And then you come back, man block them, take them out of there. West Virginia says, what do we do, coach? They got a guy we can't cover, and they're blocking us up front. Doesn't look good. We better score a lot of points.
Well, Georgia Tech has scored 14 in this ball game, and they lead it 14-7 to Deshard Choice. Well, Taylor Bennett, perfect 4 for 4. Reggie Ball suspended for this game. Tough decision made, and his coach and some of his players reacted to the suspension of Reggie Ball for the Gator Bowl.
I was disappointed for him. He's put in a lot of time and effort, and I hated for it to end like that for him. shocking thing for everybody, just knowing that, our 4-year starter isn't going to be there for the very last game of his career.
You see a guy fall down, you want to try as hard as you can to pick him up, and it's a situation where, we really can't do anything but try and bounce back and just really take matters into our own hands and just try and support Taylor as much as possible.
Taylor Bennett from St. Louis started only his senior year in St. Louis. Sent a tape to Chan Gailey. Unusual, Gary. There was no visit. I mean, no on-site inspection.
Right. He never went to a camp, and Chan Gailey had never seen him throw live. And usually a lot of coaches are hesitant to give guys full scholarships at quarterback without seeing him with that live eye, and he must have been pretty impressive. Let's go back to Reggie Ball a little bit. I'm not dogging him at all. Raise your hand if you've got a D in college. Okay, I got my hand up in the air, okay?
Everybody in the booth.
Yeah, exactly. So, listen, I really feel bad for him. He dragged this team to a lot of wins the last few years, and I hate to see it happen the way it did, but life goes on. That's what they're all saying, and he has talked to Taylor on the phone a lot this week. I give him credit for that.
Mine, just full confession, it drove me into a sociology major. It was called chemistry.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
Mine was computer, and I'm still struggling with it. Damn things, they kept going, didn't they?
You thought you could just get by it, huh?
Yeah, I know.
14-7, 3:13 to go. Travis Bell will kick off as Georgia Tech leads 14-7. This is Vaughn Rivers, number 19, one of the cornerbacks. Shakes the tackle and gets to the 31-yard line. Get the very latest on all the major bowl games, including team updates, web exclusive video previews, and expert analysis from Dennis Dodd. It's all at cbssportsline.com.
West Virginia at the 31.
Rich Rodriguez, in his agreement to continue on as the head coach at West Virginia, had the flirtation with Alabama for a little over a week before he opted to stay in Morgantown. First down and 10. Patrick White, sophomore quarterback from Daphne, Alabama. Owen Schmidt alongside. Here's White. Caught and dropped. Philip Wheeler, probably the best of the linebacking core at Georgia Tech, number 41.
Well, K. Michael Hall and Philip Wheeler are the guys that make the plays on this defense. They've combined for 160 tackles. When we talked to John Tenuta, the defensive coordinator, he said number 41, the middle linebacker in my defense, the middle linebacker has to be able to make plays. And boy, did he read this nicely. He basically was spying on the play. He moved up and he was treating the quarterback as a spy guy. He didn't drop in coverage, and that's why when he saw the hesitation, he was able to get up there and make the play. Slayton back in the game, isn't he?
He's been in and out. We're trying to keep our eye on him to see how effective he is, how much he can play. Deep thigh bruise, and Steve Slayton is back on there now. Loss of 7. It's second down and 17. Georgia Tech will bring 5. Patrick White flips it out. It's caught by Slayton. And he gets the 7 back plus a couple.
Now, that's interesting. We asked Steve Slayton, how does that thigh bruise affect you the most? Is it getting hit there, getting loose? He says, it's accelerating. I feel like I can't get the top speed right away. And right there, it looked like he couldn't get the top speed right away. Usually you expect him to just slam that thing into 5th gear, and he didn't quite get there.
4 for 9. He averages 144 yards per game. And again, Georgia Tech brings 5. Patrick White behind Steve Slayton. It'll be 4th down.
Well, it is the South Florida game plan that West Virginia is seeing. As White, that ankle right there, he got run over. This is what South Florida did. In passing situations, they brought the house. And they came in on him. That way, K. Michael Hall just gets on him. And Patrick White, limping. Remember, he didn't get to play. And the Rutgers game, it was Jarrett Brown, and we may see Jarrett Brown again.
Patrick White suffered the high ankle sprain in the loss to South Florida 5 weeks ago. And Jarrett Brown, very effective in the win over Rutgers, the triple overtime game. Here's the punt from McAfee. Had a fair catch called and taken at the 23 33-yard line. 44 yards on the punt. Jared Brown. These are the totals against Rutgers. 244 yards. Had a big run as well.
Yeah, he was something special. I mean, when your backup quarterback comes in and looks like this, you know your coaches are doing a great job evaluating players, because this is a guy that's on the bench. He could be playing for a lot of people, and you look at completely different, a different quarterback than Patrick White. He is a gunner.
And so we might see him next offensive series as now Slayton and White.
Same spot again for Calvin Johnson.
Here's Bennett, flips it out for Calvin Johnson, and moves it out across the 30, out of bounds at the 32-yard line. John Holmes makes the tackle, number 1.
This is what I'm talking about. You know, you look at that Clemson game, they could not get a completion to Calvin Johnson. That just can't happen. You know, you lose a game, obviously, when your best player, you know, now look at this, the simple way to get him. If it's zone, you're going to throw the ball to him. Obviously, zone, throw him the football, get the ball in your playmaker's hand, and take your 6. Wow, that's a 9-yard gain. Amazing. Nothing. Gets 9 yards.
And so on 2nd and 1, we have 1:06 to go. Opening quarter. Blitz. It's still loose.
Yep, it is.
And who got it? You hear somebody yelling, he blew the whistle. They must have blown the whistle.
Yeah, Taylor Bennett, they say, took it away from him late. That's what they're saying. Taylor Bennett says, you know, if you break it, fix it. I dropped it, I better go get it, right?
Yes. Mentioned that Taylor Bennett played 3 years behind a quarterback who wound up at Northeast Missouri State. The only offers he had, Georgia Tech, Baylor, and Boise State. That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Boise State seems to be pretty. They got a good eye for talent. Yeah. They got a good eye for talent.
But he was not among the highly recruited quarterbacks coming out of high school. 3rd down. Blitz coming. Taylor Bennett. Catch is made by the tight end, Michael Matthews. They don't use him in the passing game all that much. That's only his 4th catch of the year.
See, now, Taylor Bennett, you can see what, and I love this, when quarterbacks stay in a system and aren't real anxious to start as a freshman, you can see how you can grow and get used to being a football player. So when you get your time, like Matt Leinart did at USC, when it's your turn to play, you're ready to play. And you can see Taylor Bennett knows how to run the offense.
That's the end of the first quarter with our score, Georgia Tech 14, West Virginia 7. We'll return to Alltel Stadium after this message and this word from your local station. And those two young men have had a very happy first day of 2019. Listen to me, 2007. I'm old school. I refuse to acknowledge that we've changed centuries. Calvin Johnson, will he or will he not come back for his junior season? That's one of the big questions. First down and 10 as we start the second quarter. And here's the handoff to Shard Choice up the middle. Are you surprised, Gary, by what we've seen in this first quarter?
Absolutely. How could you not be? I mean, you know, that we said, Georgia Tech is struggling to find points. Where do they find points? You got a new quarterback playing his game. You're playing against a dynamic offense, and all of a sudden they're finding points out there. I think this formation of having Calvin Johnson in the slot and the tight end of the boundary is giving West Virginia a little trouble. And, hey, you find something as a coach, that's what they work hard with, and you got a quarterback that's 6 for 6, you should be in a football game, right?
Yeah, Taylor Bennett has made it a memorable first quarter. Here's the flip out to the left with Sean Grant, number 3. And that's going to be another Georgia Tech first down.
See, this is what I'm talking about. These are the little things you have to do. This is called a wide route to a running back. It is, or to a slot back. It's a deceivingly tougher pass than people think, and he puts it out there like a long handoff, and that's why the play's successful. You don't have to ask your slot back to turn around. You put it right there like you're handing it off, and the offense works.
And the injury problems continue for the Mountaineers. This is Eric Wicks, perhaps their best defensive player.
Yeah. Best sacker, 7 sacks on the team on 2.
And time has been called as they tend to Eric Wicks.
See if we can pick him out. He's on the right side right there. Kind of gets jacked up. And then it must have, I don't know if he like twisted his knee or back. Could he have twisted his back? Vern, you got your bad back sometime. Looks like one of those, huh?
Well, we'll take time out and we'll figure this all out. Eric Wicks on the sideline, and Gary, you were able to determine what happened.
Yeah, guys in the truck found it. Here it is right here. Calvin Johnson's matched up. Watch the little chicken fighting going on. Wicks and Calvin Johnson doesn't take a play off, and then they kind of swing by Wicks right there. And Calvin Johnson says, oh no, and he tweaks him. Now watch right at the end. Wicks will grab his back right there. Yeah. Nice hustle by both guys, and it looks like Wicks will come back and play.
Deshard Choice back in the backfield, first down and 10. Early second quarter, and a 14-7 Georgia Tech lead. Here's Bennett, perfect so far. Not a runner. Boy, you can tell he's not a runner, and he's got a man open. And that is a touchdown. Calvin Johnson. The ball was late again.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
He had a man open, and it happened to be the right man. This guy, I'll tell you right, I really don't know what to say about this guy. He's so good. He's like watching one of those little leaguers that you have to go for his birth certificate. And every dog, come on. He can't be 12 years old. He's a 16-year-old. You know, that's not fair. He belongs in a different league.
Bad snap. Somehow they hammered the kick home. Well, my. Calvin Johnson has caught 4, 2 of them for touchdowns.
Tried to go to the right side, nothing there. Really just a two-man route. Johnson and Johnson's out. Should I run it? The whole bench is saying, run, Taylor, run, Taylor, run. Oh, 21's back there? Let's see if we had 21. We'll take 21 against anybody. It happens to be Quentin Andrews this time. And the 45-inch vertical and 6'6" frame. And I don't know how much of a wingspan he's got, but he got the rebound on that one, Vern, didn't he? Clark Kellogg said he just jumped it higher, that one.
CBS Sports presentation of the Toyota Gator Bowl is sponsored by The Hartford. We know you're not preparing to retire, you're preparing to live. Vonage, a better way to phone for less. And by Dr. Pepper. With 23 flavors in every Dr. Pepper, there's more to it. Welcome back to the Calvin Johnson Show on New Year's Day from the Gator Bowl. He is such an impressive young man. His mom, Erica, with her doctorate degree. Calvin's mom, I think her father, Calvin Sr., just went out to meet with some guys from that other league. He's a very modest guy, but such an impressive young man. When you get a chance to sit down and spend a half an hour with him.
Well, first of all, your breath is taken away when he walks in.
Right.
You know, he looks like a Sidney Wicks walking in. He's 6'7", and you know, he just huge hands and a great guy too.
Yahiaoui kicks it out of bounds. Calvin Johnson's day has been pretty spectacular.
Yeah, he's so patient running his routes. Watch this, a little stutter right there. Knows where the football is, gets his feet in, knows how to drag his feet. He's comfortable no matter where the ball is, doesn't mind getting hit. He's tough when he gets hit. And then obviously he can go upstairs a la Randy Moss. By the way, the Oakland Raiders have the first pick in the draft. Well, he can't last more than number 2 if he comes out. Detroit takes a receiver every year.
Oh, goodness.
Patrick White back in the game, though, huh?
Yes, he is. Sun emerging from behind the clouds here in Jacksonville. First down and 10. 21-7, Georgia Tech. West Virginia scored on its first drive, 80 yards in 4 plays. And they haven't done much on either side of the ball since then. Steve Slayton with the carry. Let's go down to Tracy.
Guys, as we suspected, Patrick White re-aggravated that left ankle that kept him out of the Rutgers game. They taped him up. and he's going to attempt to play on it. But quarterbacks coach Bill Stewart went up to back up Jarrett Brown and said, you have to be ready to go in. Work on that snap count and keep your head in the game, guys.
All right, Tracy, thank you. 2nd down and 7. Out of the gun again. Here's White. 3rd down. He's cut down at the 41-yard line by Philip Wheeler, number 41.
Well, you can make an argument that Rich Rodriguez is the most influential head coach in college football. There are so many teams that have just taken his offense. I mean, Texas stole it. Ohio State stole parts of it for Troy Smith. Northwestern put in the whole thing. Everyone has visited this guy for this spread zone read. But look how it doesn't work great if you don't have speed in the backfield. Slayton and Patrick White are not 100%. You can see a difference.
3rd and 4. Tech brings 6-man up. They will rush only 5. And here's the flip to Slayton. And that's good for a West Virginia 1st down. Well, this West Virginia offense, it began for Rich Rodriguez. He was a head coach at 24 years of age at Salem College in West Virginia. They were purchased by a Japanese university system and shut down the football program. He at 26, he became the head coach at Glenville State. And he was the head coach at Glenville State for 6 years, NAIA team. Many of these philosophical concepts, offensive, began when he was there. 1st down and 10. Moses snaps it back. They hand it off to Schmidt. He's been their most effective runner so far.
Yeah. Well, you can't stop everything, and that's what the John Tenuta Georgia Tech defense is we're going to try to make you beat us left-handed. Well, their left hand at West Virginia is a 250-pound lumbering Owen Schmidt, almost a folk hero here for West Virginia. But you don't get 70-yard runs with Owen Schmidt. I think Georgia Tech has to live with a few of those.
Now Slayton comes into the slot to the right, leaving Schmidt to the left. Georgia Tech threatens to blitz. They come. Here's Patrick White. Oh, boy. They really are something to watch.
Yep. Well, we saw this offense in the Southeastern Conference. Arkansas was running it basically this offense with Darren McFadden taking this snap just like this and running the sweep from it's basically a single wing. And Patrick White is just as fast as Darren McFadden. Might not be as gifted a runner, a little better thrower, but maybe Darren McFadden might argue with that.
I think so.
But you can see you've got to have the quarterback runner to make this offense go.
Now that quarterback runner initially was Sean King at Tulane. He was the guy that really helped Rich Rodriguez when he was the offensive coordinator there. That's the handoff to Slayton.
Steve Slayton carries.
Well, you can just get a sense that Slayton is just no giddy up and go.
I mean, I think we give credit to Tracy. She was all over this. His thigh was not right, and the trainer knew best. No matter what the player says, the trainer said, "I don't think he'll last the whole game," and he doesn't so far look like he's loose.
Right. 2nd down and 6 at the 8, a 14-point deficit facing West Virginia early 2nd quarter. White, near side. That one met very effectively, and they stiffen him and stand him up at the 5-yard line.
And credit to that offensive line. What they call the misfits up there, those guys, those recruits, the ones that nobody wanted up there, including All-American Dan Moses, who basically had 2 offers, Hofstra and Wake Forest, and he's an All-American, okay? So they just kind of road graded that one, to pick up those positive yards to make it 3rd and 2.5 or 3rd and 3 here.
Dan Moses, number 76, over the ball. 3rd and 3 at the 5. Empty backfield. Here's White. Fires it inside for Brandon Miles, and that's going to be a loss on the play. Jahi Ward-Daniels, number 32.
Yeah, Owen Schmidt did not get the cleanup block that time, number 35. It was his job. See him right here at the end of the screen right here. I don't know if you can see him. If you have a new TV, I know you can see him. If you got one of those old ones, you don't. You know those big flat screens, they show you everything. He was supposed to clean up the corner, didn't get out there and stop the play.
McAfee for the season has missed only 5, has had 1 block. This one from 24 yards. So the Mountaineers get 3 out of the drive and narrow the margin to 11. Patrick White, the effective offensive force, along with Owen Schmidt. And with 9:16 to go in the first half, Chan Gailey's team still leads by 11. We will continue to develop the Calvin Johnson story on New Year's Day, the young man from Sandy Spring, Georgia.
Toyota Heroes of the Fall, the fans' choice for Story of the Year.
Last year against LSU, first game after Hurricane Katrina, very hostile environment, and trailing 21-0, there's not a whole lot of room for error. You know, you're either going to get blown out of the stadium or you're either going to come back and have a great game. It was almost as if I was playing a video game. I kind of felt like I've played that game before. You know, I've played it through my head a few times, and it was just kind of going out and having fun and enjoying the environment with the rest of the guys. It was basically us against everybody. I mean, us against the country, because everyone felt bad for LSU and the state of Louisiana and the Gulf Coast, and we did too, you know, but we understood that we had to go out and get a job done.
Toyota, moving forward.
Sometimes I'm just amazed at what comes up in the new programming area. 21-10 here, and Pat McAfee, who just kicked that 24-yard field goal, will kick it off. McAfee has Jamal Evans, Rashawn Grant as the deep man. Very short, taken by Michael Matthews, the fullback, and he's out near the 30-yard line. Taylor Bennett, second start of his career.
Well, he's going to go against West Virginia, only this time it's a real start. He got to practice for it, and he started out the game the way he dreamt. 8 for 8. He's been accurate and got that huge safety net, because when you throw it up, big number 21 safety net climbs down with a lot of them. But you know what? Forget that. The kid has been on. Look at the yards he's produced. Look what Georgia Tech had done the last couple games. I know there was weather and, you know, a lot of things happen in those games, but he has come through for his football team.
Well, with 21 points already, here's the handoff. It goes to Tashard Choice out to the 29-yard line. Well, time now for the New Year's trivia question of the week. Who are the only 2 players in NCAA Division 1A history who are believed to have thrown a TD pass on their first career pass attempt? We want to leave a little wiggle room.
Yeah, our Aflac guys were out late last night, and they had to throw in that little quotes around believed, right, just to make sure.
Yeah. I saw a few ducks walking.
Exactly.
Out of our hotel last night. Second, they heard a few ducks too. Here's Choice.
Nice.
Yep. First down.
Love the way he just runs through those arm tackles. You know, I mean, he just has no respect. You don't square up and tackle this guy. You know, he reminds you a lot of P.J. Daniels, who was a running back at Georgia Tech before. And watch, there's the hole. Great job up front. But watch him run through. If you don't square up for them, he's going to run right through those arms and make another positive play.
Well, he is closing in on another 100-yard effort in the first half. And if he so accomplishes, he will tie Eddie Lee Ivory. Georgia Tech, he'll defeat him, rather. Take the record away. Here's the handoff. Not much there. That's Choice again. Craig Wilson, number 66, who's been battling a an injury problem back on the field.
Let's talk about this West Virginia defense a little bit. Jeff Castillo, their defensive coordinator, he's playing this 3-3-5 odd stack. People have been able to throw the ball. Remember, first half, Tyler Palco, the game he had in the first half, 16 for 19. He was 232. Couldn't finish it off, though. Jeff Castillo has to find a way to plug the leaks. But with 21, even if you do it right, he might be able to catch it. So you got a problem there.
On second down, they hand it to Choice. He comes left.
Wow.
Big hole. All the way to the 41-yard line. Quentin Andrews, number 8, but a 17-yard gain for Tashard Choice.
Well, this offensive line, if you talk to the coaches, they say we're athletic, we move our feet well, we man up, and we let our running backs go north and south. Now, you match that up. I don't care if you go 3-3-5, 4-2-1, 4-3, 5-2, bear. When you have a mismatch like Calvin Johnson is to the outside, you can find ways against any defense to move the ball.
Jamal Evans is the running back on first down, a little 5'8" running back. Motors down to the 35-yard line. Tackle made by Quentin Andrews. Well, here's the way West Virginia has played in the Gator Bowl. Look at that. 82, 89, 97, 2004, 2005. They have drawn the donut. So they've not played well in Florida, as a matter of fact.
Well, sometimes it's who you play. You know, in Florida, you face 3 pretty good teams down here, Florida, Florida State, and Miami. But the Gator Boy, you should have a chance to match up well in this thing.
Second down. This is Evans again, and he's got what appears to be a first down. Well, we mentioned that these two teams have played twice. The first was in the second was in the CartQuest. How about 1954 in the Sugar Bowl? And Pepper Rogers had one of the best games of his career. I want you to watch styling there.
Ooh,
the jump pass looked like Tim Tebow. Don't you think? Rogers kicked a field goal, made 2 extra points, racked up 438 yards in total offense, and Georgia Tech won 42-19. He was another partner of mine once.
He was right in that spot here, huh?
Yeah. First down and 10, 6 plays on this drive. Here's Bennett going deep. Yeah, triple coverage.
Yeah. That was a little dangerous that time. Had a guy out in the flat. He could have gone shorter too. Got a little greedy that time, you know. I mean, you're hot, you know. Now he figures he's got the driver working. He puts the driver onto everything. Still stay patient. Go through your reads. Patrick Nix, the play caller, first-year play caller here for Georgia Tech. Took it over from Chan Gailey this year. Has worked with Taylor. There you see Patrick on the left right there. Didn't like that read at all.
George Cooper, a backup tight end who has not caught a pass this year, was open.
Yes, he was.
On the right side.
He was. A little shorter and could have got a first down throw with it.
Second down and 10. Oh, boy. There is a flag on the far side. Looks like this will be offside against West Virginia.
I think it is our first flag, isn't it? The first,
yep.
And I'm sure if it's against West Virginia, there's no doubt that Georgia Tech takes it, even though they had a positive play.
Defense number 47, 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
They'll take it, so even though they gained about 7 on the play, they're going to take the 5 yards, so they get to have the down replayed again. Now you get into that 25-yard line where you can just lob the ball up to number 21, and you know, whether he has 1 or 2 guys on him, he can still jump higher than both of them. Look at Larry Williams down here. He's the tallest guy. Number 3 is one of the corners. You know, he goes 6 foot, 6'1", but it's a tough matchup for anybody.
Second and 5. Choice, the running back.
In the slot again.
They'll hand it to Choice. Good defense this time by the Mountaineers. And he is stopped 5 yards short of the first down. Craig Wilson, number 66. First man there.
Keelan Dykes.
And Keelan Dykes also part of it. So with under 5 to go, first half, Georgia Tech facing a 3rd and 5. Feel a play selection, Gary.
Yep.
20 and 9.
He's made the 9 count, though, hasn't he? 8 for 9. Calvin Johnson to the top of the screen.
Bennett Comes out, fires it deep. John Johnson. Make it James. Touchdown. James Johnson from Bennett.
You know, Bennett did such a great job. I'm telling you, you don't know how hard it is to throw this ball in the seam like that. He didn't throw it too high. He didn't gun it too hard. If you put too much air under it, the safety gets there. He did it exactly the way you should. Boy, that is nice. He did it with the wet vac that time instead of the shot vac to the other side, right?
Here's the extra point attempt. Travis Bell up and good. Well, you got Calvin Johnson on one side, James Johnson, who has had problems holding on to the ball.
Yes, he has. He's made some plays, but this is all vertical. Now watch, he doesn't throw it too high, but he guns it enough. Safety tries to come over and get it. I think it was Vaughn Rivers, number 19, that tried to come over and get it. I think it was, but he did not get there in time, and man, this guy is hot. Bennett, Johnson, and Johnson, 28 points.
All right, Tim, thank you. Good to have you guys with us. And one of those who decided to step off that carousel was Rich Rodriguez.
Yes. He got what he wanted. He used that Alabama offer to help, he thinks, his university, of course, himself. And I think he's got this thing headed in the right direction, obviously. But remember, last year was him against Georgia. Jumped out to that big lead. Georgia answered. Made it a football game. Now, we'll see if West Virginia can answer.
78.
Well, Georgia Tech with 309 yards of offense in the first half.
But how do you like this Taylor Bennett guy? I mean, he started out fast. I'm not going to give it all away. What I mean about that is as a player. We'll see that later. But in this game, he's 9 for 10 for over 200 yards passing in the first half. This guy's a quick starter.
In his only other start against UConn, he was 11 for 30 in a win a year ago when Reggie Ball came down with viral meningitis. Darius Raynaud, who has returned one for a touchdown this year, gets that one out near the 40-yard line. Well, Johnson & Johnson, a very successful company.
Sure, this is 4 vertical against a zone defense. You see it zone by West Virginia, stays to the wide. You can see adjusting to the ball, and the ball is thrown hard enough that the safety cannot get over there. Johnson & Johnson and their roommate, how about this? Their roommate, Taylor Bennett.
Taylor said he asked if he could room with wide receivers.
That's not a bad strategy.
No, and then the fourth roommate is a backup quarterback, Kyle Manley. That snap, oh, look at this. How weird.
That's going to be...
Look at the offensive line.
Yeah, that was some kind of a gimmick play there, and I think Georgia Tech was offsides. That was some kind of a gimmick there. I don't know what kind of gimmick when everybody pretends they're hurt.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, I can go back 23 years and remember the play that Dave McLean ran.
Yeah, watch the lineman here after they snap the ball. Watch how they just there's a play, and then they all just stay there. They just freeze. It's different.
Yeah, very strange. It was not the oh my play, but McLean ran 23 years ago. Here's White in trouble. Tip incomplete.
Yeah, great pressure that time.
Okay, time now, Gary. Pay attention here. Trivia question. Answer. The only 2 players believed to have thrown a touchdown pass on their first attempt. Matt Leinart in his start at Auburn. Mike Williams on the receiving end. Now, that was a highly anticipated game, and Matt Leinart and Auburn came in and they rolled over.
And Taylor Bennett, both lefties and both first pass touchdowns.
Second down and 5. 28 to 10. It'll be third down and 2. That was Ed Collington, number 32, as Rich Rodriguez is going deep into his running back rotation.
Yeah, what's happened here is you can see successfully that Georgia Tech has taken away the wide speed plays here. They're forcing West Virginia to beat them with their left hand so far. No Slayton in the backfield again.
Loaded up with 3 receivers left side. They hand it off to the fullback, and Owen Schmidt picks up the first down across the 50 to the 47-yard line. K. Michael Hall, number 35, with the tackle. So Slayton injured, White slowed.
Yeah, it can't be 100%. He ain't running no 4.4 today, is he?
No.
I know he's 4.4 in the offspring with shorts on, but he isn't 4.4 today.
Moses snaps it back. Here's White. He'll keep it. No Hutch. Boy.
Hit up on that one, wasn't he?
Darrell Robertson, number 90, was there.
See, if there's a scary area for this West Virginia offensive line, they've got 2 new offensive tackles. I know they've been there all year, but one of the strengths of Georgia Tech, these defensive ends, Michael Jobson, Darrell Robertson, Adam Oliver, they're good athletes to the outside. And look who's sitting there.
Steve Slayton continues to ride the exercise bike, and Collington is back in. Five-man rush for Georgia Tech. There's the pass to Brandon Miles. And he's got a first down at the 31-yard line in front of Jahi Ward-Daniels. That's a gain of 15.
Well, everybody has to wonder, is Patrick White good enough to be a passer without all the other stuff that's in this offense? Right here he showed he's good enough to at least throw that one. That was a big play for this West Virginia football team.
Gain of 15 and a fresh series of downs. Handed off left side. It's Collington. And Ed Collington is down inside the 20. The tackle made by Jamal Lewis, number 14. Excuse me, Gary.
I'm sorry.
You go right ahead.
Okay. Well, we've been off a couple weeks. We bumped into each other here, okay? I'm at the zone read. Watch this as he hands it off. 2 people will stay out here with Patrick White. And that's really what that zone read does. People staying with the quarterback after he hands the ball off.
First down and 10 at the 18. White coming right. Darts inside. Surges down to the 10-yard line. Tackle is made by D.J. Jones, number 23.
That looked like it hurt him on that one,
yes,
too.
Yes, it did.
Wait, now this guy comes in. If Calvin Johnson just takes up the room, this guy comes in very unassuming, doesn't he? I mean, he walks in, you go, boy, this is the leader. See, he kind of got that leg bent up there on the tackle.
Very, very soft-spoken young man from Daphne, Alabama.
Way different on the field, though.
Yes.
Competitor on the field.
Up the middle. Owen Schmidt. Touchdown, West Virginia. Well, if your fast guy is slowed down, go to your big guy.
Go to your other guy. Well, you knew it was going to be points today. I really believed that. You know, Georgia Tech was going to have to find a way to score points. West Virginia now says, listen, we're still in this football game because every time we get it, we have the threat of putting a touchdown, points on the board.
Pat McAfee for the extra point. Schmidt with 6 rushes for 84 yards, longest of which was 52. The extra point is up and good. And important comeback touchdown for the Mountaineers.
Well, this is the veer out of shotgun. You either fake it to the fullback or give it to the fullback, and this time he gives it to the 250-pounder, and the big guy Schmidt is closing in on 100 yards rushing in the first half also. And he doesn't do it with speed. He does it with 250 pounds of power. Still alive.
Yes.
Still alive.
Very much so. Owen Schmidt, young man from Wisconsin, the transfer, as we've said. Well, about the time we were all back in New York for the College Football Foundation Hall of Fame, the rumors were rampant about Rich Rodriguez to Alabama. Would he go? Would he stay? Ultimately, there were reports that he was going to go, and ultimately he decided to stay.
Is a proud sponsor of today's game.
I was in a situation where a school that's as prominent as Alabama wants to talk to you a little bit. It doesn't hurt for me to at least listen to him a little bit.
If I was him, I'd look at it as a business decision, just like he was able to do, and he got some things for the program and for himself that he didn't have before he went through that.
He would have no hard feelings from me on whatever decision he made. It's a family decision for him, and he has to do what's best for him.
Family always comes first. That's what he always preached to us. And I mean, you really couldn't be upset with him for taking that job because it would have been better off his family, and it also is a business. I'm just happy that he did stay to finish what he started.
Well, he did stay, and in part he started his wife Rita on the left, his son Rhett, and his daughter Raquel on the right. Raquel, a 10-year-old, was in 5th grade class, and they came on the public address announcement and announced that her father had taken the job at Alabama. She called her dad and said, "What is going on?" He said no, and that afternoon he turned it down.
Yeah, I think it probably went something like this. Dad, we're rich. Oh, they didn't take the job. Okay, we're not rich.
No. He's still well.
He's still rich.
Yeah, he's still okay. Salaries and coaches these days.
I guess there's a meeting going on today.
Yeah,
we hear?
Well, Tim and Spencer and Tony Barnhart, our gurus of coaching carousel information, will be along to talk about something. There they are. They're getting ready.
We don't dabble in that stuff. We just head right for the BCS. We don't go into the...
Oh, yes. Let's argue again. You and I agree. We don't argue.
It's clear as mud, isn't it sometimes?
We just present how we feel.
Our opinions.
Yes.
Well, now this is pretty interesting. A minute to go. You don't want to waste the possession against West Virginia for Georgia Tech, but you still, let's face it, you got a young quarterback. If you're backed up, you got to make sure you don't make a mistake. Let's see where they get the ball.
And here's Rashawn Grant out near the 27-yard line with less than a minute to go. Well, nice to have our studio group out on the road with us. The Geico Halftime Report. Tim, Spencer, Tony coming up at halftime. Take us through all the bowl happenings, and they'll mention the BCS mess, I'm sure, and coaching changes. So Georgia Tech, the last time they played here a month ago, they played Wake Forest in a rainstorm, and they got 2 field goals.
Had the ball 5 times inside the 35. They got 6 points.
Handoff choice.
Yeah, I think this is smart. It's 28-17. Let's not make a silly mistake, make it 28-24. If you're going to throw the ball, throw it very deep down the field to number 21. So if they do pick it off, it happens way downfield.
Second down and
6. Choice over 100 yards again. And that in the first half.
Nice change-up, safe play.
And a first down out of the 48-yard line with 20 seconds to go.
Now you can take a timeout, and there's plenty of time to take some shots downfield for a possible field goal or maybe more.
Georgia Tech uses the first of its 3. They have been impressive, Chan Gailey's young men. Tech leads by 11. Wednesday on CBS, Comedy is King and Kevin James rules. Catch a new King of Queens Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS. 20 seconds to go before the break. And a first down 10 for Georgia Tech at their own 47. Choice already over 100 yards. Calvin Johnson over 100 yards. Tech impressive. Bennett in trouble, flips it out. He's really a garrulous young man. It was fun talking to him. And you asked him to describe himself, and he said, slow, very slow.
Slow. He said, when I got the starting job, he said, I said, what did it feel like, the starting job? He said, well, first of all, you don't have to be quite as accurate because these guys can catch everything, but you got to be a little quicker with the ball to them. Kind of funny. Now, that's the one mistake he can't make is a sack and a fumble right now. An interception to the sideline. I'm wondering if Chan Gailey might say, listen, I'm not so sure here. Let's just, discretion may be the better thing.
Mm-hmm. Mike Cox is in the backfield, number 40. And they will throw.
Yeah, simple though.
Yes, absolutely. And it's Deshard choice. 6 seconds to go. You call time. They do. So that is the second timeout used. They still don't have the first down. But we can. Chan Gailey.
Sure does, Chan Gailey by coming up the hard way. Both these coaches have kind of come up the hard way. Sure knows how to run a program, doesn't he? I mean, even this whole thing with Reggie Ball. He said he hated to see the kid get, lose, but you got to move on. You got to prepare, and that's what working. Troy came up, did it the hard way, and learned how to.
Well, 6 seconds to go. Well, college football stories of the year, the BCS Mess, the Big East Trio. And we refer to this West Virginia team, the Louisville team, the Rutgers team, coaching courtships, all the focus on Alabama, I think, right now, and the debacle that has been a part of that story so far, and parity, Gary.
Yeah, I think that's been my theme all year. You really can't know exactly who's the best because there's about from team number 40 to team number 2, there might be not that much difference between them, and I think even the bowl season is showing that again.
Come on, man.
3rd and 3, 7 seconds to go. West Virginia's got 2 men perched back at the 20 in anticipation of the Hail Mary pass. Here's Bennett stepping up and heaving it for Calvin Johnson. There's a stumble and incidental contact.
Yep, it is.
Yep. Eric Wicks was deep and looking up in the direction of the ball, so the pass falls incomplete. Bennett still arguing the case.
They just kind of bumped. Neither guy was looking at each other. They ran into each other, and that ball was catchable. It would have been caught. There was a possibility that it could have been. Taylor says, hey, man, come on. I got a great game going here. Don't call it incomplete.
And let's go down to Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks a lot. Coach, did you ever think Taylor Bennett would come out and have a start like this?
Well, there were a couple of great plays he made individually, but that's what you hope for. That's what you practice for. Yeah, I expected it. He's a very good football player.
What has he done right?
Well, he hadn't turned the ball over. He hadn't made any dumb throws, and he's had patience in the pocket. If you have patience in the pocket, you got a chance to hit some of our guys because our guys will get open.
We've seen a lot of bowl teams these past few weeks lose a big lead. How do you make sure your team doesn't do that?
Well, we're going to address that very fact right here in the locker room at halftime.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck. Back to you, Vern.
Well, Taylor Bennett, one of the stars of the first half of play. He's got Calvin Johnson at one end and Calvin Johnson at the other end. Tim and Spencer will be along with the Geico halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. All right, anything but good news for Rich Rodriguez.
A huge story to begin the game. Turns out to be the huge story at halftime, too. It's a much different team without that speed at running back.
Travis Bell will kick off. It's an onside kick by Georgia Tech. And I think they have it. Wow. Yes. Well. Travis Bell almost perfectly executed.
Now, of course, a lot of this is scouting, but I think a lot of this is West Virginia can score points. And they feel with an opening in the middle, they could pop that ball and better than a 50-50 chance. And they get it. Look at that. No one in the middle for West Virginia. Good block by Michael Johnson to clean it out for somebody else to get it. And that kick up the middle. So instead of getting the ball, as Rich said to Tracy, Georgia Tech gets the ball again.
That's anything but a conservative, old-fashioned call.
No. Old school doesn't mean conservative school. Old school, remember those old AFL days? They threw the ball back in those days, too.
Here's the cross side. Taylor Bennett, looks like nobody's open. And so he lets it go. Well, there's the old flea flicker to start the third quarter. I think the big story, Gary, is still the Slayton injury and Patrick White's immobility.
I think that is the victory, the big story about whether West Virginia can come back. I think the big thing for me was I wrote down 3 things before the game that I thought had to happen. Taylor Bennett had to come through for 200 yards. Calvin Johnson, could West Virginia corral him? No, they have not been able to do it. And could Georgia Tech score points? 28 first half points, and then they start out here with an onside kick. I think Chan Gailey knew he needed points, and he's been wide open with this game plan.
Hand off to Shard Choice. He's got a big gap and a first down at the 37-yard line. Tackled by Eric Wicks.
You know, there's room in the game for a running back that can make first downs, because you can have your game breaker somewhere else. So there's your first down guy. You know how they have possession receivers? Well, this is a possession running back. And first downs are first downs. You get the big plays with the wideouts, and that running game, as much as Calvin Johnson has really decimated West Virginia, Tashard Choice with these 8-yard, 10-yard, 12-yard runs have been killers.
And that one was 17. First down and 10. Blitz coming by the Mountaineers. Taylor Bennett back. A lot of time. Goes deep for Calvin Johnson. Triple coverage. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 3 men surrounding him. A 32-yard pickup.
Lines up in the slot. This has been the story the whole game. In the slot, come down the middle. No big magical play action pass. Now the ball's just thrown up in the air. Someone from West Virginia needs to get physical with Calvin Johnson, and not even a bump. Barely a bump. Look at that. Both West Virginia defenders don't even get a hit on him. I think it was Lewis. I'm not sure. Number 6, I think it was. Not even anything against 21.
On first down, they'll test the middle. Tashard Choice. Touchdown Tech.
Look at this look, though. Calvin Johnson blocks 2 guys on number 21. That means you're playing 10 on 9 inside. You can run the ball when that happens. Look at that. 21 has 2 guys outside of the box covering him. You run number 22.
Choice has erupted this afternoon. The extra point by Travis Bell is up and good. Georgia Tech, 5 touchdowns on 7 possessions. The flag is at half-mast here at the Gator Bowl in honor of the late President Ford. Beloved man by many.
Travis Bell with the conversion, 35-17.
62nd Gator Bowl. And Georgia Tech taking advantage of every opportunity so far.
They're making them count. You're right. 5 for 7 touchdowns.
This time the kick goes deep. Taken by Darius Raynaud. He can go out to the 40. 39-yard gain. Gary, let's take a look at the halftime numbers.
Yeah, we didn't have time to change them. Everything's happening so fast. We thought West Virginia was going to get the ball, but look at that. All those check marks, new quarterback in the game, and what you expected was to watch West Virginia play and see that speed. It has not materialized, obviously. It has not materialized. Patrick White doesn't have it. Slayton doesn't have it. He won't even play. Will West Virginia find yards somewhere else by the arm of Patrick White, maybe?
Owen Schmidt gets the handoff. No, it's White who keeps it and moves it to the 42-yard line. And for more on Patrick White and Steve Slayton, let's go down to Tracy Wolfson.
Guys, I'm going to start with Steve Slayton. He actually took himself out of the game. West Virginia's trainer Dave Kearns told me that thigh bruise was no worse, but Slayton was just frustrated that he couldn't be productive. As for quarterback Patrick White, he's not only dealing with a high ankle sprain, but it's his neck that's really bothering him. And as Rich Rodriguez said, he's going to try and play, and if not, we will see backup Jarrett Brown.
There's a flag on this play, but the ball is caught by Tito Gonzalez. If the play stands, it's a 57-yard touchdown.
You got to watch the offensive line for West Virginia. They did the sleeper play again. Offsides against Georgia Tech, it'll be declined. The offensive line slept. They just stood there again for the whole time, and they stayed there all the way through the receiver scoring. Never moved.
Well, now we know the intent of that play in the first half.
Yep. I think the Georgia Tech team was frozen by the look of West Virginia. They saw that offensive line just standing there, and the secondary just stood there. Nobody moved.
Pat McAfee for the extra point. The hold by Travis McClintock. Well, let's take a look at a wide shot.
Yeah, now watch. The offensive line, we all know where they are, but watch the coverage guy right here. He'll see this offensive line freeze, and he freezes, and he freezes. Watch this. Nobody moves. Nobody knows what to do. Everybody's saying, wait, what? What's going on? All of a sudden, the throw goes, and I'm telling you, the line is still in their three-point stance, even now.
Yes.
You could have gone back. They would still be there.
Well, it was a comfortable pose. And West Virginia comes right back. 12:31 to go, third quarter, 35-24. And take another look at this.
Yeah, K-Muckle Hall right here is going to be offsides, but watch the offensive line. Snap it. Now, I'm promising you, they don't move. They don't move. Moses even falls down, and they stay there until the extra point team comes out. They'll be laying there. They're laying. They look up. Is it over yet? Is it over? They're all in their stances still. There's already been, the scoreboard's already changed, and they're still in their stances. A gimmick play, but it still counts 7 points.
And Moses shall lead them. How about that? The sleeper play.
The sleeper. Okay. I don't know what I've never seen that one before.
I don't think I have. And the funny thing is, Rich Rodriguez called it in the first half.
Yeah.
There's Dan Moses, All-American center and sleeper.
He falls down, he looks up, he peeks up. Did he score yet?
Yeah. Did we get caught? Here's Michael Matthews, number 48, to the 26-yard line.
Michael Matthews on the kickoff return. Tackle by number 12.
And coming up, the five-star play of the game presented by Wrangler. Well, there's a candidate for you. We've had a few today.
You know what I'm struck with is Rich Rodriguez and even Chan Gailey. Both of these guys came up the hard way, coaching at small colleges, figuring out a way to move the ball. Remember, Rich told us, I came up with this spread because I tried to figure out a way where our offensive line could get run over slowly.
First down and 10. Here's Bennett. The handoff to Choice.
Yeah, the West Virginia crowd is in the game, aren't they?
Well, Gary, this is not the first time these two teams, or these two coaches have met. They met back in 1993 when Rich Rodriguez was the head coach at Glenville State. Chan Gailey was in his one and only year as the head coach at Samford. Rich Rodriguez was telling us they had a guaranteed game, $20,000 to get on a bus and ride 12 hours. They got to $20,000 before the game began. Later that year, went to the NAIA National Championship game. 1993.
That didn't look right, did it?
No.
That didn't look right there. Everybody was a bit confused on that offensive line with the snap count or an audible or a check with me. It just didn't seem right. There was confusion all the way.
Delay game offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Second down and 16. Look at these first 8 possessions in this ballgame.
Right. The first one was a sack, and then the plays at the end of the half. Otherwise, pretty much the same.
This is a predominantly West Virginia crowd, and they have come to life here in the third quarter. Handoff out to the 23-yard line.
Oh, yeah, you better keep ringing the cash register because West Virginia's going to keep coming back. They're going to keep scoring points. You can't look at the clock in this game at all. You just got to keep scoring.
Ridwan Malik made the last tackle, 3rd and 13.
It's all about points. Can you imagine Georgia Tech fans? 9-6 they lost last time they were here. They got 35 points now.
And it's a tenuous lead.
Yes, of course it is.
Taylor Bennett out of the gun. West Virginia, 5 men up. They'll bring 6. Bennett has to get rid of it. He does. It's caught by Choice. He's caught and dropped. Charles Pugh, number 15. And so trailing by 11 as they did at the half, West Virginia is about to get the ball back.
Well, Georgia Tech did not want to put pressure on Taylor this time. Another one of those screen passes, and Pugh smelled it out and made the tackle that time. And now, Rodriguez says, we're going to get the ball back. We're only going to be down 11. Well, but he's going to get the ball back, only down 11.
Durant Brooks mentioned he was a finalist for the Ray Guy Award this year from Gordon, Georgia, and that's a poor punt. Out of bounds, very ineffective. 27-yard punt.
First and 10, West Virginia.
Rich Rodriguez's team trailing by 11. Brooks a little disappointed. Downtown Jacksonville. See that building right there?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my fault. That's where our spotter Jared Shadrick lives.
Oh.
Yeah. He's got a short drive home. You've got a
Not
longer
bad.
drive home.
Yeah. And you got a fly
I've
home.
got a fly home, yes.
Jared can walk there, huh?
We come to you from the 62nd annual Toyota Gator Bowl. First down and 10. Well, this is a meeting between the Big East and the ACC. How the various conferences fared so far. Big East has won a couple. SEC 4-2. Tennessee losing to Penn State today. Mountain West 3-1. ACC 4-2. Big 12. Conference USA has not fared well. Big 10 1-3.
Big 10 big games are coming up for the Big 10, though,
Yeah,
all right?
yeah.
I mean, boy, those are going to be huge.
Second down and 8:51 to go. Here's a reverse. This goes to Darius Raynaud. Breaks the tackle. Hemmed in, but he gets a big gain to the 31-yard line.
Well, it was defense, but not tackled that time. You know, you got a guy out there, Adam Oliver, number 42, just doesn't have enough speed. Watch Oliver. He stays home. He knows. He sees it coming. I'm out here. I'm out here. Oh, Raynaud says, I'm going right inside of you. Then I'm going to get back outside of it. Raynaud was a great high school running back. Ran for almost 1,900 yards in high school. And a lot of those guys moved to wide receiver, and he's comfortable with the ball under his arm.
First down and 10. They spotted him out at the 35. Here's the handoff to Ed Collington. And the tackle made by Philip Wheeler, number 41.
Ed Collington carries.
Well, we talked about those big games. You know, we got tipping points in the national championship game, you know, and I think Florida has to do one. They got to have two quarterbacks equal one. Tebow and Leak have to be able to come through and match up with Troy Smith.
Second down here, and here's Patrick White. Drills it.
Oh, nice catch.
Oh, what a dandy catch. Brandon Miles. Number 7, great grab.
Not a great throw this time. Got away from Patrick White a bit. Gets high, and look at that. Miles goes up, catches that ball. Number 2 leading receiver for the football team, and you can see without Slayton, West Virginia is going to have to find different ways to move the ball, and they're doing it.
First down and 10 inside the 20-yard line. An 11-point margin. Here's White on the keeper. See him stumble when he cut?
Yeah, he doesn't have the strength in that leg, does he?
Now let's go back to the BCS championship game.
Yeah, they're called tipping points. What could determine the game? Florida's pass rush must come through. They've rode that pass rush all year. That Buckeye rush defense. There's a lot of different ways Florida runs the ball. Will they be able to stop all of them? The game breakers, Percy Harvin, Ted Ginn, and special teams. They've been special to Florida. Will they be special in the national championship?
Jason Colson, the 4th running back, number 24, in the slot to the left on 2nd and 5. 5-man Georgia Tech rush. White into the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Colson.
Nobody covered him.
5th-year senior.
Busted assignment. Nobody covered him. Remember earlier in the game, Taylor Bennett had Calvin Johnson, and we said, oh, he underthrew it. But watch right here. No one's going to cover this guy. Busted assignment. 2 guys go to the top right there. Look at those 2 guys. Nobody. You can't overthrow one of those. You got to underthrow them. This time the ball sailed on Patrick White. Should have been a touchdown.
And so 3rd down. Colson remains on the field. Patrick White goes in the corner. Miles is there. Caught. Touchdown. And I'm sure a sense of apprehension now building on the Georgia Tech bench.
Oh, you bet. Well, Patrick White missed the last throw, but he didn't miss this one. Jahi Ward-Daniels, number 32, just got beat bad on that play. That's going to be a tough one for him to watch.
Pat McAfee for the extra point. McClintock will hold. Tim Lindsay is a snapper. It's up, and it is good.
All right, it's 1-on-1. Your coach said you got him, man-to-man. You got to cover him. It's a little post corner. Number 32, inside look. Not even that great of a route. Miles didn't even look inside, and Ward-Daniels got left in his tracks. Nice catch again by Miles, and boy, this West Virginia offense is purring. It's purring. There's a lot of ways to score points, and Patrick White has found another way to do it.
We've had all kinds of things going on here in the Gator Bowl. 35-31, and we're only midway through the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, it's time for Georgia Tech to dial up number 21 again, isn't it? I mean, they're just going to have to. He's too good. He's like, the great point guard. Give him the ball. Oh, free ball.
Yes, it is. It deflected off one of the Tech defenders.
Yep.
That's an unintentional onside kick.
It sure is.
Wow. Who got it? They're still wrestling for it, which means Joe Anawai should be in the bottom there somewhere, and there's a flag. We still have not had an indication who got the ball.
Oh, West Virginia had to have gotten that ball, didn't they?
Sure thought so. Yes.
No, obviously it doesn't make any difference whether it hits a defender or not. The ball is free, but because it hit the Georgia Tech blocker, the ball bounced back and no one saw it. See, there it is. The blocker didn't see it. It actually blocked off 2 guys. It blocked off 2 different players for Georgia Tech, and then it was a free ball and no one could see it but the West Virginia guys.
First man was Tony Clark, number 7. And look at the reaction on the bench. McAfee. Now, I mean, could that be by design?
No, I think it was just a squib kick. And sometimes it can hit somebody, but it wasn't a designed onside kick.
And the player down is Cedric
Ruling
Griffin.
on the field is that the kicking team recovered the ball after the play had ended. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Georgia Tech. 15 yards, number 44, number 15-yard penalty, first down.
Boy, and that'll put the ball at about the 16 or 17-yard line for West Virginia. Here it is. It hits the guy right there. Now he can't get back to it. Clark could not get there fast enough, and then it's recovered. You can see it was recovered all the way. West Virginia had it now. Georgia Tech is going to try to do whatever they can to fight underneath the pile. Hits Clark. Is that who it hit? Clark?
Yeah, Tony Clark, and then it hits another player.
Yeah, and then it's a free ball, and it's gone.
That's Cedric Griffin, and Griffin gets injured. And Talib Tucker, number 44, is the man flagged for the personal foul. And here is Cedric Griffin injured in the melee.
Yeah, and Griffin, it hit him, but he never knew it could hit him. The ball went past him, hit Clark, came back and hit him on the foot. He had no idea what was going on. No way he could have done anything about it. And look what happens. Patrick White, who's pretty hot, 8 for 11, gets the football back again.
Pat McAfee kicked it. This is Tony Clark, hit him in the knee. And then it hits Cedric Griffin.
And then everybody's diving on the ball. And then, when everybody's diving on the ball, anything can happen. You can get your foot caught in there. And Griffin, I don't know. You hadn't seen anything yet. I don't know if he got a thigh bruise or what, but
Yeah.
he was in the middle of it.
So Griffin helped to the sideline after the personal foul. It's first down Mountaineers, 1st and 10 at the 20. They trail by 4. Ed Collison again. Steve Slayton took himself out, unable to go with the thigh bruise. They test the middle, bounce it to the outside. Collington. Seldom used sophomore out of Pittsburgh.
Now, Rich Rodriguez has lost Steve Slayton, so that spread option game is kind of gone. But remember, the generation of this offense, the origination of it, was actually the run and shoot. He's used to throwing the ball. That's where it all started from. He is very comfortable taking the spread option now and making it into a spread passing formation.
Jason Colson is back on the field, the 4th running back.
They look over for a play, they fake the snap, then they look back, and it's called again from the bench.
And Dan Moses, the All-American center, will snap it back. Patrick White on the keeper. There's the speed. There's the touchdown.
I think that was a busted play.
Do you really?
Yes.
Nevertheless, Patrick White for the TD.
Watch, he's going to run the veer, but there's no veer to hand the ball to, so he just keeps it. He stuck it out and just kept it at the same time. That's weird. I guess when the best runner has it, you might as well run it, right?
Patrick White, the sophomore from Daphne, Alabama, made a verbal commitment to Louisiana State University.
Yeah.
They mentioned the dreaded word for any young quarterback, wide receiver.
Yeah, and that was the end of it.
And he said West Virginia, he called his brother, talked to his brother that night, said, I've made a huge mistake. It was a verbal commitment. Rodriguez said, we've got a spot for you here. You will play quarterback. And he also said it's a 15-mile bus ride from Daphne, Alabama to Morgantown. His mom doesn't drive, and he has settled in.
Just think about what's happened in this half. Tracy's talking to Rich. He says, we're going to get the ball, no problem. Oops, onside kick. All of a sudden, a score by Georgia Tech, a score by West Virginia, a score by now their own onside kick. Kicks it off there, and then he just keeps this one, and he comes inside, and he's just a pretty good athlete. Center fielder in baseball, quarterback at West Virginia, and can do it all. And they got the lead. They got the lead, and we're not even to the 4th quarter of this football game. Man, oh man.
And that's his brother, Coley.
Who Patrick says the best athlete out of all the brothers. I'm sure he's already got a couple of letters from a couple people.
You think so?
He looks the same frame, doesn't he? Same type of look.
Yeah. Who said yesterday Penny Hardaway physically?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good look.
Right?
But look at this. This is a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
He's next.
Somebody else said he had Isaiah Thomas's smile. He doesn't have Isaiah Thomas's
Boy, those
demeanor.
good-looking kids right there, aren't they?
Yeah.
I like that. Those guys, I'm picking those at the YMCA. I'm choosing those guys.
And up in the booth is brother Bo.
Yes, as a
graduate assistant.
Video coordinator. Now, the quiet little Patrick White looks like he's into this football game, doesn't he? Unassuming and everything.
38-35. We've still got 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
That's why these games are long, and Rich Rodriguez says, hey, there's still time. We'll score points.
McAfee's kick picked up by Jamal Evans.
Not that way. Don't go that way.
Nate Sowers, backup wide receiver.
Yeah, you ran right into that one. You got to take that north-south. There's no help out there. You're just going to run into a wall. A Sowers wall. Take it north-south. Kickoffs do not work out there.
And so the helium gas has gone out of the balloon for Georgia Tech. They need to find number 21 again and get something going.
Right. I agree.
First down and 10. Here's Bennett. Fires it behind Calvin Johnson. What a catch. No. They say he did not hold on. I thought he did.
That's impressive enough, though, whether he caught it or not. That ball was more than halfway there before Calvin Johnson turned around, and he almost made an acrobatic catch on it. Ball's coming. Watch him. He has to go jump the opposite way. And it hit the ground.
Yep.
Good call.
Yeah.
Still, not by much. See, now that's one thing Taylor Bennett has to control. The tempo of the game is picked up by West Virginia. He can't play faster. He has to go through his reads and stay with his progressions.
Tashard Choice. It'll be third and long. Very long. Keelan Dykes, number 96, makes the tackle.
So we've all made this mistake as a quarterback. You start saying, okay, now everything's happening. They're coming. I got to throw it quicker, and you get out of sync. You have to stay in sync. Go through your proper footwork. Make sure you go back 5 steps. Take your hit. Throw the ball. He was a little early on that throw to Calvin Johnson. That's why it wasn't completed. Remember, he doesn't have a lot of experience. First game.
3rd and 7. Blitz coming. Calvin Johnson makes the catch short of the first down. Quentin Andrews, number 8, prevented the chains from moving.
There's reasons to blitz, and this is one of them. When you have a team 3rd and long, if you blitz, you force the break off. There's the break off. Calvin Johnson's reading it. You come up and make the tackle. What you force is the quarterback to throw the ball hot. 2 guys coming from the outside. Quarterback reads it. You have to punt the ball.
And so it's 4th and 1 with 4:07 to go, 3rd quarter. Durant Brooks, number 9, had a poor punt last time out. Vaughn Rivers, the 5'8" cornerback, is back to return it. This one not terribly effective either. Rivers at the 30. Flags are down.
Shove in the back, no doubt about it. Coming back.
Yep. And that is a scowl on the face of Rich Rodriguez.
Yeah, pretty penalty-free game. You know, I mean, what, 3 or 4 penalties all game? Had that one unsportsmanlike penalty, and now we're going to get a shove in the back, I believe.
Again, it's a Mountain West Conference officiating crew headed by Carl Richens. Proud that they got out of Denver to get here.
Get back.
We've had some fun in the Colorado Rockies for the last couple of weeks.
I wonder if there's a couple calls here because there's a lot of discussion going on.
We just got an update on the blizzard conditions in Denver. One of the officials' luggage arrived 1 hour before the game.
2 fouls by the return team.
Yeah, 2 fouls.
Illegal block in the back, number 21. That penalty's declined. Illegal block in the back, number 34. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Tomorrow on the unit, every mission has one rule, no man left behind. Dennis Haysbert stars in the unit tomorrow after NCIS on CBS.
That's must-see TV in our house.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you.
Okay.
They don't leave anybody behind. I'm telling you, they don't.
Well, you just made your contribution to promo of the year.
It doesn't matter. I watch it. That unit is the first string in our house.
Tracy reports that Cedric Griffin has been taken into the locker room, left ankle injury. Update you when we can. 1st and 10. Handoff goes left to Ed Collington, number 32. Tackle made by Philip Wheeler, number 41. 38-35 with 3:14 to go, and time permitting after the game, the TIAA Kraft post-game report.
Pretty interesting. All the plays are being signaled in. There that is, being right there. Rich Rodriguez says, we've got 4 different ways to signal in the zone read. One play, they have 4 different ways just in case somebody's trying to steal their plays.
That fellow number 11 is Adam Bednarik, who's signaling the plays in. Here's Pat White. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, little miscommunication. Well, I don't want to say little. That was a big miscommunication right there. Brandon Miles hooked up, and Patrick White thought he was going long. Yeah, I think this is one of these must-stops right here if you're a defensive football team. Okay, you're looking up here and goes, okay, guys, now let's go over our reads. Let's keep this ball in front of us. We'll give them 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards, but not 12.
It's 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10 officially. Blitz. White pulls it down and will be caught short, so Georgia Tech will get the ball back.
And a wardrobe malfunction up here almost.
You don't look anything like Janet Jackson.
That was mission accomplished, I think, by both sides there. Rich Rodriguez did not want Patrick White to make a big mistake, and Georgia Tech gets off the field.
Pat McAfee will punt. Andrew Smith, whose dad, Barry Smith, was once a first-round draft pick of the Green Bay Packers. Andrew Smith waits for it at the 37. Here's McAfee's punt. Smith gathers it in at the 30. Doesn't get much. Now Calvin Johnson coming back on. Calvin is a sophomore. Started out as a building constructions major, changed to management, but he has been involved in an amazing research institute project along with Brad Davis and Kevin Caravalli, the leader. They are developing a heat treat human waste system that can be built by 2 or 3 people from materials costing less than $100. And he is destined in the next couple of weeks to go to Bolivia for a week and see if it's effective, if what they've done will work. It's an amazing project.
Wow.
And he's an amazing man.
I just heard that the internet's all clogged up with agents trying to get flights to Bolivia right now.
And Tracy, you've got more on the story.
That's true, guys. Actually, there's a chance their design could get a patent and Johnson's name would be on it. Imagine an NFL paycheck and royalties. Not too bad.
No, not at all. And it really is some project. It's a cooperative venture between Georgia Tech Research Institute and Emory University. And Calvin Johnson, very much the student athlete at Georgia Tech. Here's 2nd down and 9. Taylor Bennett fires it out. Caught. That's by the backup tight end George Cooper, and that is his first catch of the year.
First catch of the year. Nice throw. The play action pass. You know, when you're running up plays against a defense that has this 3-3-5, it's actually 2 strong safeties. It's almost like having 5 linebackers. Play action passes are very effective against it. You get 5 guys reading the action, and you have a good chance for sliding those tight ends around.
I'm just thinking about that trip with the 3, the supervisor and the Brad Davis and Calvin Johnson.
What are they going to call this Calvin Johnson toilet? What, nothing hits the ground? What is it?
Oh, it's fun working with you. We go directions I never expect. Here's Bennett under some pressure, goes deep, incomplete.
Wow. Good coverage that time by West Virginia.
James Johnson.
You can see, though, the pressure put on the offense by the points scored from West Virginia has forced Georgia Tech to keep it wide open. Wide open all the way.
2nd down and 10. We've still 45 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. 38-35. Second and 10. Calvin Johnson, top of the screen. James Johnson in the slot. They run it with the Shard choice. They come left. It'll be 3rd and 5 or 6, depending on the spot, at the 41-yard line.
Well, it is interesting when you watch West Virginia play football. You say, well, you know, nobody's playing any defense. Well, they almost force you into playing this fast-paced game, high-scoring game. I saw Northwestern do it in the Big Ten the same way. And when you're playing this fast-paced defense, you've got to score points. Now, Georgia Tech could get out of the quarter without snapping it here if they wanted to.
No real wind advantage. The wind is behind them a little bit now. Not a strong breeze. Here's Bennett. Oh, down he goes.
See, I just thought they could have taken a huddle up, gone over some things with the quarterback on this big 3rd down call.
Charles Pugh with the sack.
Yeah, it's one of those 3-3-5 guys, one of those 2 strong safeties, comes run around the corner, had a tackle on him or tight end on him, and he went right at him with the speed and got in there for the sack.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter with a score. Georgia Tech 35, West Virginia 38. We'll return to Alltel Stadium right after this word from your local station. Encourager. It's 4th down and 13. And Durant Brooks is on the punt for Georgia Tech as we begin the 4th. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson. 38-35. Rivers back. And this one will go into the end zone, out to the 20. You know, one of the responsibilities that I have in this little relationship is the scoring recap.
Get ready, huh?
I'm gonna defer to you.
No, you're not. No,
you get to do the 38-35, right?
Well, I think these bowl games are starting to look like this, aren't they? I mean, a lot of points are being scored. I guess it's fun to play offense in these things. The game has changed. It's creative. People spread out. I think it's fun to throw the ball. It's fun to spread it out. And there's a lot more. We ask coaches that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Why does this happen? They go, there's a lot more offensive athletes than there are defensive athletes. And I think that's true.
Well, 1st down and 10. And Patrick White, who had a very effective 3rd quarter, is in at quarterback. Here's White to the 27-yard line. Tackle made by K. Michael Hall, number 35. Steve Slayton, deep thigh bruise. Tracy told you at the beginning of the afternoon. It was a reoccurrence of an injury. It happened this time in practice. It was a non-contact practice when a teammate's shoulder pad hit him in the thigh. And despite all the efforts of Steve and the training staff, they just couldn't get it healed enough for him to really take a heavy part. How about Patrick White's day today?
Yeah, we saw him early with that ankle, and we said, is this going to bother him a little bit? Started off running nicely and freely. And he threw just enough passes. That's that sleeper play right there. But then even with the bad ankle, he showed his toughness. Oh, one more play. Forgot about this pass. And then he showed his toughness right up the middle after being hit. Guy has done a lot. 8 for 12 and run the ball very well, too. Almost up to 100 yards rushing the ball.
2 fullbacks in the eye now. Maxwell Anderson and Owen Schmidt on 3rd and 1. Oh, I don't know. There's a surge, and that surge might have taken him across the 30. Tussle for the ball. Brad Palmer, the tight end, number 45, was down there in the middle of it, and the spot appears to be enough to move the chain.
Yep, if it goes across that line, it has to be the touchback. You touch the line with it.
West Virginia 1st down at the 30.
There's the handoff to the fullback.
Man.
Hey, Owen Schmidt. Yards were down this year compared to a year ago. He came in with 242. When you've got White and Slayton back there, you're not going to get that many carries, but he's really a wonderful scorer.
Yeah,
you mentioned earlier, walked on after playing 1 year at Division III Wisconsin River Falls. And for the day, 101 yards on 9 carries. He began with a 52-yard rumble on the opening play of the game. Ed Collington, the 6-foot sophomore from Pittsburgh, runs into Darrell Robertson.
Now, you know, we all sat here before the game. We go, boy, they're going to be a little trouble without Slayton. Now, they had Slayton early, and I give Steve Slayton a lot of credit. You know, there's a temptation when you're hurt not to come out of the game. I mean, you want to be tough. You want to just hang in there. You want to finish the game out. But he said, I'm hurting the team, and he was right. The team is playing better without him in there.
2nd down and 7.
That's really the next phase for Patrick White. Learning that accuracy from the quarterback spot. Oh, we got another personal foul inside.
This is K. Michael Hall without the helmet now.
He's saying, I got hit first, but we know that.
Yes.
After the play had ended, personal foul. Offense number 76. 15-yard penalty. Down counts. 3rd down.
He was right.
All right, Dan Moses, that's the center, All-American center. Winning the Remington Award, Center of the Year. That time, got a little physical. A little too physical.
No discernible reaction from Rich Rodriguez, but it's 3rd and 22 now. This is a 3-point game. And further conference here before the ball is marked ready for play. 3rd and 22. White, Brandon Miles, 42-yard line. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, mission accomplished again. You blitz just enough guys. That's that zone blitz package that everyone uses now. You blitz enough guys where the quarterback knows he can't hold on to the ball. You make him throw it short, then you come up and make the tackle. Those 3rd and longs. You know, back in the day, you used to be able to pick those up. Nowadays, they're just so tough with these new zone blitz schemes.
That brings on Pat McAfee to punt it deep to Andrew Smith. Smith at the 20-yard line. Opening moments of the 4th quarter. We're nearing the 11-minute mark. McAfee, good punt. Andrew Smith at the 16-yard line. Out to the 24. 8-yard return on the 42-yard McAfee punt.
Number 44.
Well, Johnson & Johnson with the quarterback Taylor Bennett will be on the field. They trail by 3. We'll return in a moment. Thanks.
It's about the same nowadays.
It is. Left side, Calvin Johnson.
Bennett's pass is complete to number 21, Calvin Johnson.
Johnson trying to get his team back in the lead. Want to thank MetLife Blimp for providing today's aerial coverage of the bowl game down below. Look for Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 when they pass through a town near you. Well, Chan Gailey upset about something on that last play.
I think was he upset that he got hit late out of bounds, Calvin Johnson? I'd be taking care of number 21 too.
Could have been. 1st down and 10. Taylor Bennett, handoff to Shard Choice. Oh, he's got some room. Looks for a downfield block from Johnson.
He's a good little player, isn't he?
Yes, he is. His season high yards on the ground, 151. He's certainly surpassing that or getting close to it right now.
He wasn't first team all ACC. That was, I think, James Davis and Brandon Orr from, what was it, Clemson, and that would be Virginia Tech,
right?
It? Yes, okay, but he's right there. He's a pretty good running back.
And for the afternoon, a season high of 153 yards on 25 carries.
And he holds on to the ball. He does not fumble it either, and he's a good pass protector. Nice football player.
First down and 10. That was incomplete. Matter of fact, he came in, Gary, with 215 touches without a fumble.
Wow.
And has added to that with 25 carries today.
Yeah, there's a few guys that do that really well. Mike Hart from Michigan, Ray Rice over there at Rutgers. Those guys are really valuable.
Second down and 10. Let's go back and see why Chan Gailey might have been upset.
Yeah, there's Chan, I think, right there, isn't he? Okay, he gets that hit right there, and Chan says, what are you doing? That was 3 yards out of bounds. I don't know if that was Chan. That wasn't Chan Gailey. Looked just like him.
Second down and 10. Choice cut down at the 29-yard line. Bobby Hathaway, number 55, with the tackle. Third and 8.
Mass substitution for West Virginia coming in as they put in their nickel or dime package. Bringing in a lot of athletes on the field right now.
Rashawn Grant, number 3, joins the huddle. Third and 8. Travis Bell's longest field goal this year has been 47 yards, and they're right in that neighborhood here. Bennett chased, looks for blocking help, pulls up, drills it, caught! Oh! Highlight show.
He's a very courageous player too, Calvin Johnson. I mean, when you're that tall, you know you're going to get stuck. Now watch this. Taylor rips this throw in there. He guns it. He just goes up, snaps it, comes down, and then a la Marvin Harrison, he just goes back to the huddle for the next one. I asked him, do you lobby for the ball if you're not getting it? And he goes, it's kind of obvious. They're going to throw me the ball. If they're trying to, I'm not going to lobby for it. That would be silly. 186 yards.
Yes, career high for Calvin Johnson. First down and 10. Here's Bennett back. He's had a superb game. Bennett, nobody there. Fires it. Go! Wow, Vaughn Rivers. There's a flag on the near side. Taylor Bennett narrowly escaped. Now check the flag.
Holding. Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
That's Rotto, the right tackle. Mansfield Rotto, and that is Chan Gailey. Well, gosh, he's hoping, as are all of his teammates, that Calvin Johnson elects to come back, but what a terribly difficult decision for a young man. Now, Chan told us, I would not be surprised if he did come back.
Yeah, he's somewhat of a contrarian. I mean, I got to give him that. I mean, he goes to Georgia Tech. He was recruited by everybody. No, I want to stay home. I'm fine. Doesn't lobby for the ball. He seems to have his own way that he does things.
Here's Bennett back from the backside. He's in trouble.
And now Gelvin's going to be in trouble.
Johnson makes the catch, but boy, that was the ultimate safety valve.
Yeah, it really was. They're so worried about protection is Georgia Tech that these two-man routes, putting both receivers to the same side, so they're keeping the backside tight end in. Right now, Taylor Bennett knows that I got no help on the outside. If someone extra guy comes, it was Eric Wicks that time, number 41, one of those extra song safeties. I kind of get the feeling that, Georgia Tech would be better off putting receivers to both sides, spreading it out more like this.
Second and 20, trailing by 3 with 9:03 to go. Four-man rush. They cut it from the corner. Here's Choice. breaks the tackle, 3rd and long from the 23-yard line. Tashard Choice began his career at Oklahoma. Rushed for 100 yards there as a freshman behind Adrian Peterson. Requested a waiver because of his mom's illness to come back home. It was granted. He's had a big day today, Gary.
He sure has. He's just so dependable. You know, I mean, you got to give credit to the offensive line, of course, and Calvin Johnson's a big part of that. But this guy is dependable running back. You love those type of guys.
3rd and 16. Bennett intercepted. Picked off at the 2-yard line. Quentin Andrews.
I think miscommunication there. I think he felt, Taylor Bennett, that this guy right here was going to come inside, but he kept going straight, and that was the confusion. Quentin Andrews is standing right on the hash. Receiver goes straight. The quarterback throws the ball, and you could see it. Actually, there was inside a nice play done by John Holmes, number 1. He jammed the receiver and knocked the receiver off the route. John Holmes did a nice job up front jamming that receiver. Now remember, pro ball, you can't touch the receivers after 5 yards. College, you can as long as the ball hasn't been thrown.
The intended receiver was James Johnson, not Calvin. That is the first interception of the day for Taylor Bennett. He's had an otherwise superb game. But you were telling me so often that, the quarterback takes the responsibility. Right?
You get the big checks and all the girls and everything like that. You got to take there's a lot of the criticism sometimes.
Right? I enjoyed just hanging with you for the reflected glory of the opportunity.
Yeah, well, that one was, he had to throw it. It was 3rd and long. Nothing you could do.
2nd and 9. Here's Patrick White from the end zone.
Oh, he got tagged.
Yes, he did.
Tated on that
one. Incidental conduct.
He got tated.
Brandon Miles was the deep one. 3rd and 9.
Patrick White, as he lets this ball go, gets run over at the same time. Inside, boom, boy, just squared up and it hit. And that ball forced it long and wide.
Gary Guyton was the man who made the tackle. 3rd and 9. 3-point game, 7:12 to go. Handoff. Schmidt. 4th down.
Boy, it's funny. Now, yards were so easy to come by there for a while, and now they're tough. Now they're tough. Game on the line. Both coaches don't want to lose it. All these trick plays that were there before. Now both coaches say, be a little careful. And the defense have kind of taken control of the football game.
Joe Anawai was a part of that tackle. The young man whose family was involved in professional wrestling, still are, as a matter of fact. Here's Pat McAfee to punt from 8 yards in. Andrew Smith. Tech should come out of this with good field position. On one hop. Smith goes left at the 50. 36-yard line. 45-yard punt, 15 on the return. Georgia Tech trailing by 3. Joe Anawai from Pensacola, Florida, with the tackle. At 80%. They didn't tell us it was going to come this late.
They were right.
Yeah. And so thunder showers passing over Alltel Stadium. A 3-point game. 38-35 with 6:06 remaining. Bennett hands it off to Choice. Picks up 3 to the 35. Joe Anawai mentioned his background as a family of wrestlers. His dad and his uncle toured as the Wild Samoans. He's got a brother who still is involved in professional wrestling. He said his mom, Lisa, preferred that he not be a part of it.
Right. Well, he's so well-spoken. Such a great kid. I mean,
Yes.
he's a techie, intellectual defensive lineman. I mean, great guy.
2nd down and 7. Play fake. Bennett gets rid of it as he goes out of bounds. Now, was he driven out of bounds before he got rid of the ball?
There really was nobody to throw the ball to that time. The tight end coming around, George Cooper, who he threw that bootleg to before, was covered, and there was nothing to go. You know, I mean, see, there's a coverage right there. He couldn't go there.
Yep.
Couldn't go to the outside. Nowhere to go with the ball. James Johnson was covered.
If they don't gain a yard, now the wind has shifted all of a sudden and is behind them now. It would be a 52-yarder. And Bell's longest for the season is 47. Bennett back, steps up, lobs it out, caught by Choice. Gets a block. Down the sidelines. Big play. And a flag is thrown.
John Holmes makes the tackle. West Virginia.
Well, it was thrown right where that block was made after Choice caught the ball.
Yeah, I wonder if that's an illegal block in the back.
Bennett gets hit. Boy, that's life in ACC. Taylor's going to find that pretty normal. I'm wondering if that wasn't one of the receivers downfield with a hold or something.
Illegal block in the back by the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
There's no need really to make the block. I mean, it's easy to say up here, but they had the 1st down. And a penalty. It was a penalty-free game early, and now all of a sudden at the end here, game on the line, everybody's trying to do a little bit too much.
So that wipes out a 1st down at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, so it was a foul right there. He had the 1st down already where that foul was called.
Now Georgia Tech has come back 3 times this year against Maryland, against Miami, and at North Carolina State. That's the most in Division I college football this year. 3rd and 9 with 5:12 to go. Left side. In and out of the hands of Rashawn Grant. 4th down.
Yeah, that one, if I was critiquing here for Taylor, I would say, it's 3rd and long. You got to give this a little bit more time downfield. You always got that one to the outside. I don't know if you'd have picked up the 1st down anyway. You got to look for number 21 and then drop it off to Grant afterwards.
Well, this is well beyond the Travis Bell range. It would be a 54 or 55-yarder. Oh, I beg your pardon. They are going to try it. I saw Durant Brooks out, but he's out to hold. 54 yards for the tie. Short.
Boy, how big was that penalty? That 1st down play. It's a 3rd down pass. Choice already had it. Remember, he had the 1st down, and there was a push in behind, and then the field goal was just a little too far to get.
Travis Bell comes up short from 54. The lead remains 3. 38-35 with 5:02 to go. While we've got a moment, we just want to say goodbye to a dear, dear friend of ours, Bob Daly, one of the legendary directors at CBS Sports, passed away earlier in December. Bob, his first directing role was on the Edward R. Murrow Show. He directed 50 years at CBS, including 30 years at the Masters, 20 years at the U.S. Open. He died at his home in Pompano Beach near Miami. And Bob Daly was the first man to take me onto the golf course at Augusta.
Fantastic.
And he said, young fella, I know you think you've seen it on television. Let me show it to you in person. He will be missed by so many of us. Bob Daly. 1st down and 10. And the tackle made at the 35-yard line. Joe Anawai wrestled him down. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You got him.
Just had to.
Well, you know, the strategy there by Chan Gailey, you know, just let's look back a little bit here. 54-yard field goal. West Virginia, you know, will they try to anything special here? No. Last time you gave them a 3 and out. You got all 3 timeouts. You know, Chan Gailey said, I'm going to go for it. He's the coach.
Yep. 2nd down and 12. 38-35. They had this tumultuous 3rd quarter, and then things have settled down here in the 4th. Here's Patrick White.
Nice play, staying in bounds, too. You know, Rich Rodriguez said he's the smartest quarterback I've ever had, so aware of everything around him. Big play. Patrick White is just a sweep. There's nothing to it. It could be Darren McFadden. I mean, there's been tons of guys that run this play at quarterback. Well, I don't know if he was trying to stay in or not. Maybe I gave him a little bit too much credit. Maybe he just slipped. Whatever. He stayed in bounds.
Had a baseball future as well. He was a draft choice of the Anaheim Angels, but opted to come and play quarterback in Morgantown in West Virginia.
Now the clock is definitely a factor.
Georgia Tech can stop it 3 times. They have all 3 left. White with 16 rushes for 102 yards today. He'll take it another time.
There's that zone read play. Isn't that interesting? Rich Rodriguez told us this is maybe the staple play of college football right now. The last 3. Remember Vince Young. Troy Smith is running it. This play, you hand it to this guy, you read the end. If he comes down, you keep it. Watch him read it, keep it. And he told us yesterday, and Rich is the father of this play, it happened by accident in practice. My quarterback forgot to hand the ball off. He kept it, and Rich goes, hey, that looks pretty good. Let's put it in. Isn't that something?
2nd down and 5. Clock running at 2:46. White. 1st down.
Yeah, that might be it right there.
Yep. Well, Vince Young, of course, having led the University of Texas to the national championship. How about the 2 of them as sophomores?
And that's something. Not that much different. Now, remember, most of the people, most of the so-called experts, okay, said that Vince couldn't throw it well enough, okay? Well, they're saying that about Patrick, and I do say Patrick has to improve, but don't sell him short. Those stats aren't that much different.
Timeout, Georgia Tech. Presented by Toyota. Patrick White, 9 of 15 for 131, and he's run for 119, 1 rushing touchdown. And for Georgia Tech, Calvin Johnson, 9 for a career high of 186. Nearly 21 yards per catch and 2 touchdowns. And the overriding question for Calvin Johnson, he said he would concentrate on his decision about returning in the next week and a half and make that decision.
Before he goes to Bolivia, he's going to decide.
That's right. Oh, goodness. Well, you pointed out, Gary, in the car coming over here, this West Virginia, the starting 22.
Right.
There's not a soul from West Virginia.
How about that? Not one high school player from West Virginia, but look what they've done. You know, Rich said it's never going to be a destination place. We're not going to be able to select people. We're going to have to recruit them. But he's building a place where people want to come and play football. You know, much like Wisconsin did it, and now West Virginia's doing it. You go a place where guys said, I'm going to be treated fairly, get good facilities, run a good offense, have a coach that treats them right, and you can get guys to play and win there. This class, the winningest class. Look at that. How about that? The misfits that nobody wanted are the all-time winningest.
And Patrick White, one of those who... I just was so taken with the quiet demeanor that he presents. And yet you can tell he's got the charisma, and what a terrific player.
He needs to work real hard, and I'm sure he will, on his mechanics of throwing. There's no reason he can't throw. He's got a good enough arm. He has to now learn how to do it quicker, tighter, a little tighter in his delivery, and he'll get more accurate because of that.
2nd down and 7. Georgia Tech just used its 2nd timeout, so they have 1 remaining. Well, that's it. Clock will stop while they move the chain and reset it for the 1st down.
Good football game, both teams. Georgia Tech stepped up and answered. They knew they had to score a lot of points. They put 35 on the board. And this guy, Patrick White, answered the call without Steve Slayton, his other guy, his sidekick. Would he be able to finish this game? And he did. Ball came loose, but his knee was down, I think.
And Georgia Tech uses its final timeout. Well, Calvin, you pressed him on it yesterday, day before.
Everybody has.
And he says, really, I'm going to make the decision. His mom has her PhD.
Right.
Education, very much an important part of their family life. But, you know, his mom, Erica, and there's his dad, Calvin Jr. Calvin Sr., I beg your pardon, on the right. And they will help him make this decision.
Well, it's not an easy decision. You know, you got his roommate's the new quarterback. You got a lot of friends that are on the team. He knows how important he is to this team. You can only go to college once. Then again, you know, how much better are you going to get? You're a tremendous football player. I predict he's a top 5 draft pick at the minimum. He's got all the measurables, plays hard. He's been good enough for 2 years, really, to play pro football.
Right.
And everybody knows it. It's going to be his personal feeling of what he wants to do. Nice position to be.
Well, you, of course, played much of your professional career with the Detroit Lions. And you said to him with your tongue firmly in your cheek.
They take a receiver every year. Welcome to Detroit, right?
So he's got a choice: go to Bolivia,
Bolivia or Detroit,
or be drafted by Detroit.
Well, I don't know if he's going to get by Oakland, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Well, he's a remarkable young man and a great athlete. First down and 10. 2:26 to go. Owen Schmidt with the carry, and Jamal Lewis, number 4. And Georgia Tech cannot stop the clock. Well, if I start down the list of all the people we should thank for the season, I'm going to omit a few, but we've got to begin with Craig Silver and Steve Milton in the truck, Sellers Shy, Steve McKee, the guys up here, Chuck Gardner, Jared Shadrick, the guy who's missing today, David Moulton. So many have helped so much. Kamani Morales, George Wishart. And a special goodbye to Neil Silver. His last game with us.
Our special Gamecock guy, huh?
Yeah.
South Carolina lover.
Has decided to stay in Columbia for a while. And, of course, all of the Tech crew. You hear a lot of cliches about groups of people in our business who travel around the country being family.
Right.
But it fits for us.
Well, it's going to bleed right down to only a few seconds to go here before the end of the game. 3-point lead, and Rich Rodriguez is going to have to make a decision whether he wants to try a field goal or not. This will be interesting. If they don't make the first down. Look at him looking at that clock. You never give up on it. Snap one more. Is going to be probably 15 seconds left in the game on 4th down.
They get it snapped. Here's White. Oh, boy. Enough? Very close. I don't know.
4th down, I think. Just short.
Yeah.
Just short. Well, they ran right up the middle, safe as you can be. Quarterback lead. In fact, Owen Schmidt fell down on the play. He didn't even get up there to make the block on it, and they almost got it.
And so, 4th and 1. And with the clock resuming, it's 19 seconds.
They're going to take a timeout with 1 second to go or a half a second to go on the play clock. You watch. Rodriguez is in control. He'll call it on the sideline. He's standing right next to the field official.
Timeout.
Yep.
Rich Rodriguez, 43 years of age. Played at West Virginia, a defensive back, wore number 23.
How about he said he had more interest as a basketball player than a football player coming out of high school. Now, and I don't think he's going to go field goal. I think they run it. They'll run it east-west or try to pick up the first down, and if not, they'll just live with it the way it is.
Sure. And now it's time for the 5-star play of the game presented by Wrangler with the call, Tony Caridi of the West Virginia Radio Network.
which Patrick did.
Empty backfield, 2nd down and 7. Offside, Georgia Tech. West Virginia's White going to run the play, throwing downfield, wide open. Pass is caught. Tito Gonzalez, 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown. West Virginia's Tito Gonzalez took it all the way down. A 57-yard touchdown pass from Pat White to Tito Gonzalez, Georgia Tech.
And Dan Moses leaning over and falling asleep.
Sleeper play. I've seen it all now.
You can't be this close to the SEC without me wishing I could have heard Larry Munson call.
Oh, that one. He would have given it, wouldn't he?
From Georgia. Well, 6 seconds to go. 4th and 1. And Rich Rodriguez's team is about to win the Gator Bowl for the first time. They trailed by 18 points twice at 28-10 and at 35-17. But that sleeper play, so named by Gary Danielson, got them going. And even if he weren't an All-American, Dan Moses would be remembered for the rest of his natural life as the guy who fell over on the play. Here's Patrick White, and the game is over. West Virginia comes from 18 down. And Rich Rodriguez gets a bath.
And another. Double dose.
Slayton got him. That's enough. Georgia Tech winds up great disappointment, losing their last 3 games. Georgia, Wake Forest in the ACC championship game, and dropping an 18-point lead twice in this one. And will this be the last time we see Calvin Johnson in a Georgia Tech uniform? If so, what a contributor he has been to his school.
Can't have a more 3 productive years than number 21 has had.
Let's go down to Tracy Wolfson, who is with Rich Rodriguez.
Coach, congratulations. A big win today. Your first Gator Bowl victory. How did you guys come back from an 18-point deficit in that first half?
Our guys kept believing. We had a lot of guys banged and bruised, and they kept fighting. Patrick White's a true warrior. Owen Smith, and then our defense. I'm really proud of the way they played in the 4th quarter. And we were down for a while there, but our guys kept believing.
Like you said, a lot of injuries. Steve Slayton out for the game in the second half. How did this offense step it up?
Well, it starts with Pat White, and the guys up front did a great job. Obviously, Owen Smith made some big runs. Brandon Miles made some huge catches for us, and this is a great football team we played today. And I'm proud of our guys. They got a lot of character, and I think it showed today.
You talk about the seniors, and you called them the land of the misfits. How bad did you want this win for them?
Well, I think everybody in our football program wanted to win it for our 25 seniors. They've meant an awful lot to our program, and they've been to 5 straight bowls and won 2 straight. I'm pretty proud of them.
Well, I'm right here with the quarterback and the MVP, Patrick White. Congratulations today. Talk about how this team and this offense got it done.
We were down early, but we didn't give up. We played Mountaineer football for 4 quarters. We fought.
You went into the locker room down. What did Coach Rodriguez say to you in that locker room?
He gave us a great motivational speech like he always does. Told us we had 2 quarters left, and it's the last hurrah for the seniors, and I just wanted to do it for them.
You also said you wanted to do it for the state of West Virginia. How much does this win mean to them?
It means a lot. It's our first Gator Bowl win, So, it makes them happy. They're a great crowd. You see how many of them turned out, so we love them, and they love us.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Tony Barnhart are here with us. They will be along with the TIAA Prep post-game report right after this.